How many of you have connected with your Scrum buddy and discussed at least 5 to 10 scenario based questions using 2D to 3D? Please raise your hand. Again, repeating, how many of you connected with a Scrum buddy and discuss 5 to 10 scenario situational based question using 2D to 3D? What about others? Others, I have given the concession in fee. You're not paying me. Others, what about others? Anup, Ashwin, Rakesh, Sudarshan, what happened? Mosam, Sajish, Sunny, Ishita, Sarin, Prasanna, Sumir, Meenakshi, Pritam, Madhu, Bharti, Amit, Anushri, Shahjahan, Gayatri, Dipali. What is
So,
happening?
so for me, what happened is like Sunny was not available for the last class, so he has to undergo, means he was going through the video. So once the recording, he was supposed to complete today, and then we'll connect for the 2D to
No, no,
3D.
Ishita, if that is the case, if guys, I'm telling you again, if your Scrum buddies are not serious, you are free to change your Scrum buddy.
But
If they're not
yeah.
able to complete on
Mhm.
time, no question asked to me, just change your Scrum buddy because we can't align with non-serious people. Simple.
Okay. We did connect for the other topics, the previous ones, but only for the 2D to 3D, we were not
No,
able to
but
do
for
it.
everyone, I'm not telling this
Okay,
particular case.
sure.
Lot of people reached out to me, hey, my Scrum buddy is not good or my Scrum buddy is not available. If that is the case,
Hmm.
you are able to see who is doing well in the class. Everyone is able to see, correct? Just reach out to them, be a part of their group.
Okay.
For example, they have a group of 3 people. If you can include it, there will be a group of 4 people, correct? Don't make your group too crowded, but
Yeah.
yes, please connect with right-minded people. Few people are like, hey, I don't have a time. Then leave them. You can't spoil your thing, correct? No?
Right, right.
Find some other Scrum buddy and do this. Simple.
Sure.
Clear?
Yeah.
But guys, this is so important. Last class was so important that I can't tell you enough. We discuss scenario based questions. We discuss lot of things how to answer. If you don't practice, how will you answer in a real interview? अचानक तो वहां पे नहीं आएगा ना कि वो ओके 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 कुछ वो भगवान का आत्मा नहीं आएगा ना उधर कि अचानक यू गाइस स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग लाइक हे वाओ ग्रेट लक्ष्मी विल नॉट अपीयर दैट टाइम करेक्ट नो लक्ष्मी ऑल्सो टेल्स दैट हे आई विल अपीयर इफ यू वर्क हार्ड करेक्ट नो कैन यू लोअर योर हैंड एवरीवन फास्ट how many of you are consistently giving minimum 1 hour on daily basis without fail last 5 days you guys give consistently minimum 1 hour without fail minimum 1 hour without fail not a single day miss guys see their faces whoever raised the hand they are on the verge of becoming a scrum master trust my word those who are not raising hand and those who are somehow not able to get a time sorry you are missing something please start being serious from at least today 1 hour you can get even you have so much hectic schedule all this I see the Kajal hands are not raised Barsha hands are not raised Neetu Ashwin Bharti Shuhaib Mukesh Aishwarya Aisha you guys are either living in a false paradise or you guys are not working hard. It's as simple as that. I can't be so nice to you. If I'll be nice, I am doing an injustice to you. If you are not in touch with the topic, you promised no day one that here is one daily. I'll be giving minimum 1 hour. I'm not asking for 2 to 3 hour. I'm not asking for 4 to 5 hour, right? ये आईपीएल सीजन थोड़ी चल रहा है कि 2 महीने के 1 week will work hard and then after 10 month again new IPL season will come. Few people are really active, few people are really doing good, they're posting in the group chat, they're making the group active. I see their progress is going well, they're submitting the assignment. Few people either in assumption that I know things, like that is very dangerous. If you are in assumption I know things, that you are not even needing that course, you should not have enrolled. If you knew all those things, then you should not have enrolled. Few people are like, hey, I'll do later on. This later period never comes. Can everyone lower your hand? How many of you submitted the assignment? Only those people who submitted the assignment. How many of you submitted the assignment? Again, same common name I'm able to see in every single case. That means half of the class is serious, half of the class is kind of, चलो बाद में कर लेंगे. Meenakshi, I have a huge expectation from you. What you are doing?
Oh, so actually, I'm in night shift this month. So I'm
हाँ
really
तो मॉर्निंग
struggling.
मॉर्निंग में थोड़ा सा कर लो ना मेहनत. मॉर्निंग में थोड़ा पढ़ लो. You knew that there is a night shift gonna be, and then there will be a Rizwan class also before enrolling also. Correct, no, Meenakshi? But still you enroll. I am not asking for 2 to 3 hours a day.
I will. I'll pull up my socks. I'm sorry.
Ashwin, you are active in the first two classes, first four classes, and then I don't know which planet you are living, sir.
No response. I have completed it, but I have not submitted it. It was done last week, midday. Verification was done. The problem is I had moved to a different place for training for my office purposes. I didn't bring my note. I was not able to submit it, but it was completed.
Sunny, Preeti, Bharti, Aishwarya. Aishwarya is very common. Like he never raised hand. I don't know why. He's living in a false paradise or what. He's very common in every, like Aishwarya, you there? Shahjahan, Sudarshan.
Uh, there is one I have completed but not submitted. I'll do it after the call. I
Kajal,
have,
Kajal, do you think that by doing this you will be able to transition to a Scrum Master role? Kajal is there.
Yes, Rizwan.
Do you think by doing this kind of a hard work you'll be able to you'll be able to cross the line?
No, Rizwan.
Then what to do now? Aisha, same question to you.
Yes, Rizwan, I have completed my assignment. I just need to submit it.
These backbenchers, please note it down. I'm going to have a mock interview next week, whatever I have covered, and only backbenchers I'll take any random names. Let's make it or break it. And I have noted in my mind who is the backbencher. I know Prasanna is a backbencher. I know Meenakshi is a backbencher. I know Ashwint is a backbencher. Mukesh, Sunny, all these people, Amit, Neetu, Preeti, Bharti, Aishwarya, Saja, all this. I'll take one name. Every single name has gone to my mind now. And now, if you next week will say, "Hey, I'm not ready," then no one will be worse than me. Be ready. And next week means next week, this upcoming Saturday. I'm very kind that I'm giving you 7 more days. Upcoming Saturdays, these backbenchers, I have a mock interview with you, and I will take any random name. And if you think that hey, I will not come Saturday, Rizwan will take mock interview Saturday. No, if you will not come, then Sunday will have a mock interview. I'll see how many classes you are missing just because of a mock interview. अरे स्टार्ट बीइंग सीरियस नो यार, अब कब सीरियस हो गए? ये कोई ऐसा भी नहीं है कि चलो बकवास ट्रेनर मिल गया, ठीक ठाक पढ़ा लेता है ना. एनीवन फील दैट यू गॉट द बकवास ट्रेनर? ठीक ठाक पढ़ा लेता है तब तो पढ़ लो भाई. Okay, lower your hand everyone first. Guys, please for a God's sake start being serious. And from a next week, next Saturday, I am right. We'll have a mock interview with one of the backbenchers, and I'll go through this. I'll publish a backbencher's name today in a group if possible. One or two minor correction we can do later on, but the backbencher's name I'm going to publish in the group. Backbenchers do wonders. If the backbenchers decide that hey, now I need to work hard. Yes, no. Toppers only get up to some height. Backbenchers can go anywhere. Be that backbenchers. Correct, no? Okay, lower your hand, Madhuri, Pratik, Akanksha, and Mukesh. Now, what we are going to do today, very high concentration. There are a few questions pending for DOR, DOD, and there are a few questions pending for scenario situational based questions. We'll discuss in the next class once the capacity and velocity will get completed. Those questions will be discussed. You don't have to worry. Let's start the capacity and velocity so that you can connect all dots. Making sense? Very high concentration. Now, let me share my screen. Okay. Now, what we are going to discuss here, guys, come be on video in order to see your face while teaching. Yeah. So, what we are going to discuss in capacity and velocity, these are the interview questions they ask. What is capacity? How do you calculate capacity of your team? My screen is visible, everyone. What is velocity? How do you calculate velocity of your team? Is there any correlation between capacity and velocity? How do you do the sprint planning using capacity or velocity or using both? Like they will dig deeper here, very deep. They will go very deep. All these things we'll discuss. If complete new team is given, how do you ensure how much work they should take in the first sprint? If new team is complete, they have never worked in agile. First time those teams have formed, how much work will give to that particular team? You either you should give the work by capacity or give the work by velocity. Then how many scrum teams are handling? I've already told you, like, hey, two scrum teams, one is of 10 members, another is of 9 members. Then after this, they might ask what is the capacity and velocity of both teams. Can you tell how did you calculate? They sometime in the interview they ask the reverse calculation because you are going there as a scrum master, so they will expect that you know your team capacity in detail and how did you calculate it. Then what is focus factor and buffer? How much focus factor you should keep for a old team and a new team? If there's a lot of unplanned leaves in between the sprint and you have to complete all work by end of the sprint, as everything is very critical and urgent, how do you plan those work? We'll discuss. Difference between capacity and velocity, we'll discuss. Your manager is asking to increase velocity. How do you respond as a scrum master? What is a scope creep? Lot of people were like, hey, Rizwan, a scope creep. What is a scope creep? How do you handle this situation as a scrum master? It will at least take 40-minute discussion because lot of scenarios, at least 10 scenario based questions we are going to discuss here. So these classes are so critical that I can't tell you. How do you ensure as a scrum master your resources 100% utilized? And if there's any Diwali vacation, holy vacation, should we take work by average velocity or capacity? And how should you take the work? Here, now, all these topics at least will take 2 classes. Take 2 classes means 6 hours. So thoda sa patience, you don't have to be panic that hey, in first 1 hour Rizwan will cover every single thing. Give a chance to Rizwan to discuss at least, be in the current topic and ask your question related to the current thing what I am teaching. Once I'll say that hey, this topic is over, any question you have, by that time I am guaranteeing that there will be no questions. But if any questions you will have, I am ready to take all those questions. You don't have to worry. Making sense? Clear? Patience we have, Scrum Masters. Patience, correct? Biggest skill of a Scrum Master is patience.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
now, now, let's go one by one and discuss. This Excel sheet, whatever I am going to just show you, I am going to give you. So you don't have to write anything else. You just concentrate how you are going to do this. Clear? Now, first thing, what is capacity? If they will ask you what is capacity, capacity definition is total number of productive hours, not hours, productive hours. Available for a Scrum team, we always say in man hour. Unit is man hour. Or whenever you do the capacity calculation, we only count people who are directly involved in developing the stories. We exclude SM, PO, BA, SA. SA means sometime technical BA companies called SA. If the very complex projects are there, there will be a BA also in a team and SA also will be in team. Some company SA will be in a team, BA will not be there. SA is kind of a technical BA, and obviously we'll have the Scrum Master and PO. These people, if you see these people, Scrum Master, Product Owner, Business Analyst, they never do development testing. Their job is, SM job is to facilitation, helping team in resolving the blockers and all this. PO job is to bring the requirement on the product backlog. BA job is to help you, or SA job is to help you in grooming the requirement and all this. They are not directly involved in any development or any testing. That's why they are not calculated in the capacity calculation. We are going to discuss capacity in detail. I'm just giving you the brief. Now, so what you learn for capacity? Total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. Unit is man hours, and we exclude SMPO, BA,
It's
SA.
9 hours. It's 9 hours.
Guys, please mute yourself. Yes, great. Velocity, it is a rate or pace at which you are delivering a story point. story point every sprint, like how much story point of work your team is delivering every sprint, or how many story point of work team, same thing is written, is delivering every sprint on an average, or how many story point of work your team can plan in the next sprint. First we'll discuss the velocity, and then capacity. We'll have a long discussion, you don't have to worry. Now, what is velocity? This definition you have to remember: rate or pace at which you are delivering a story point every sprint, like how much story point you are delivering every single sprint. Now let's take the example. This is the sprint, and I'm just taking a sprint 1, a sprint 2, a sprint 3. I'm covering velocity first, a sprint 4, and a sprint 5. Now, delivered a story point, very high concern. Delivered a story. For example, your team delivered 40 story point. The unit is a story point already. For example, your team delivered 38 story point, 42 story point, 40 story point, and for example, again, uh, 40 story point. Now, what is the application of velocity? 6 sprint. Sprint number 6, how much work your team should plan? How much work your team should plan in a sprint 6? How will you calculate? How much work your team should plan in a sprint 6? What will you do? We'll take the average. Hey, how much exactly our team is able to deliver in the first 5 sprint? Okay. This much, this much, this much, this much. For example, you have had one person to do your job, any job. Now you have to give the job to that person next day. How will you do? Hey, how this person is performing, correct? No, वो क्या क्या काम कर लेता है? You will see the last 5 days, and accordingly you'll give the work. Same way, if your team has to plan the sprint 6, how much work they should do? They should plan in a sprint 6. We go by the average of last 5 sprint. And what will be the average of last 5 sprint? You just go select here. Average is coming around 40. That means 40 story point of work we should give to this team, because this is what they are actually able to deliver. And how it is coming? Historical data. Yes or no? This is what they have delivered, and that means if you give this much work to the team, there are high chances that the team will be able to deliver. Why? Because this is what they have already been delivering. Yes or no? Making sense? Making sense? Making. Now again, next question comes. Hey, Rizwan, you took the average of 5 sprint. You took the average of 5 sprint, very high concentration. You took the average of 5 sprint. Ideally, how much average you should took? How many sprint average you should took? Ideally, how many sprint average you should take while calculating the velocity? Answer is minimum 3 to 4. A sprint or a iteration, both are the same name. Minimum 3 to 4, maximum if you are taking 5, 6, 7, whatever your standard is, completely fine, but minimum 3 to 4. For example, you might have taken the average velocity by this, and it has come around 40.66, so will not be taking 40.66 story point. You can take 40 story point or 41 story point, but minimum 3 or 4 sprint you should be taking. If they will ask you, hey, in your company, while calculating the velocity, how many sprint average you take, you say the 5. Ideally, how should you take? Minimum 3 to 4. Making sense? Making sense? No. Here. Chalo. This is, for example, this is a committed story point. For example, the team committed here 42 story point. I'm just giving the example. For example, here team committed 40 story point. Here team committed, for example, 42 story point. For example, here team committed around 44 story point. And for example, here team committed 40. Now, what will be the spillover? What will be the spillover? Committed story point minus delivered story point. This is the delivered story point, and this is a committed. Committed means how much you take the work during the sprint planning. Delivered means how much you are able to complete by end of the sprint. Now, Mukesh bhai, Suraj, jag jao. Mukesh bhai, you are sleeping or something kind of. Okay, thoda
Yeah.
jag jao. जग जाओ जग जाओ जग
No,
जाओ.
no.
Okay, thinking. ठीक है, तब ठीक है. Now, a spillover. 42 minus 40 to 40 minus 38 to 42 minus 42, 0, 4
0.
and 0. That means now there is another matrix come which I'll be discussing once I come to the matrix part. That is going to be a super interesting class. Commitment reliability. What is commitment reliability? Commitment reliability is again a matrix delivered by committed into 100. Delivered by committed into 100%. Here, very high concentration into 100%. Now. If I have to calculate the commitment reliability, how much it will be? Committed story point by delivered story point. No, delivered story point by committed story point. Delivered story point by committed story point into 100. Now, if you come here and if you go into the percentage, this is what commitment reliability score of the team. That means can I say here as a note, very high concentration. Whenever a spillover will be more, commitment reliability score percentage will be down. Can I say? See here. Here the spillover is more, commitment reliability is down. Here the spillover, and whenever there is no spillover, commitment reliability is
High.
100%. Correct?
100%.
Commitment reliability is 100%. Commitment reliability, I'll tell you how it happens. For example, Meenakshi is there and Prasanna. Meenakshi and Prasanna is a very good friend. Now, Prasanna asked 10,000 rupees, Meenakshi, can you give me 10,000 rupees? Now, and Prasanna committed that, hey, by this date, I'll be able to give it. If Prasanna will be able to give it by this date, then the commitment reliability is 100%. But Prasanna, Bar Meenakshi is calling, Prasanna is telling, give me 10 days, 15 days, 20. Next time, if Prasanna will go, Meenakshi will have the 2D to 3D excuse. Because Prasanna commitment reliability has gone down, and Prasanna will not even realize that, hey, because of this, Meenakshi is kind of giving me excuse, and because Meenakshi attended Rizwan training, she is using 2D to 3D. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? कभी कभी मैं अपना एडवर्टाइजमेंट करते रहता हूँ. Now, come here. What we discussed so far, that hey, velocity is, what is velocity? It is a rate or pace at which you are delivering a story point every sprint. And how do you calculate the velocity? We took the 5 sprint, which is already, these are the past sprint. Now, what was the use case of velocity? For example, you have to plan the 6 sprint. How much work will be taking? We took the average of delivered story point. It came around 40. That means we should be taking 40 story point of work in the sprint 6. And ideally, we should take minimum 3 to 4 sprint iteration. But even if you are taking 5, 6, it is completely fine. If they'll ask in your company how much, minimum 5. And apart from this, you also discuss few more things which you should not be answering during the velocity explanation. That hey, there will be a committed story point, there will be a spillover. A spillover is committed minus delivered, and there is a matrix which is called commitment reliability matrix. And we also discussed that hey, whenever a spillover will be more, commitment reliability will be down. Whenever there is no spillover, commitment reliability is 100%. Now, why do you use commitment reliability? What is the purpose? Guys, company come up with a commitment reliability for only one purpose, that hey, if any critical or important projects coming, that should go to the team whose commitment reliability is high. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, if you give the team their commitment reliability to 50%, the team, there are high chances the team will not be able to commit by the due date. Correct? No? That should go to the team where commitment reliability is high. And ideally, how much should be commitment reliability? Ideally, it should be 100%. Ideal is 100%, and practically commitment reliability should be more than 90% for a good team to perform. Practically, whenever I say in a real world, if you go to any company, they take the average that hey, it should be more than 90%. Correct? Now, whatever you understood, I'll just ask you a simple question. Just one example. Let's take the sprint. One, committed story point. Team committed 50 story point. Two, 48. Third, 52. Very high concentration here. Fourth, 50. And six, 50. Or fifth, 50. These are in story points. Now, on the sixth sprint, how much work team should how much work team should plan in the sprint 6? Fast answer.
50.
ये कौन है नाम बता के?
Rakesh.
Anyone disagree with Rakesh?
Yes, we have to take delivered.
Yes, committed का कैसे एवरेज लेंगे? राकेश भाई चाय पी के आए हो सर?
I just got confused. Delivered सोचा.
हाँ, तो इतना आसान होता तो मैं आपको ये क्वेश्चन देता? नहीं देता ना सर. What I'm trying to say, committed story point or delivered story point, this is answer of this question is data is not sufficient, because we can't take the average of committed, we should always take the average of delivered story point. For example, that right now I just changed it to the delivered story point. Now the answer will be 50 story point, and this 50 whatever is coming, this 50 will be now this 50 will be committed story point for sprint 6. Yes or no? ये कितने को समझ आया guys? How much work your team should plan in sprint 6? Average of delivered. Now this came 50, that means your team should plan 50 story point of work. Now your team actually has taken 50, that means 50 will be the committed story point. There might be there, but again, Rizwan, there can be a chance that hey, team should plan 50 story point of work, but team plan 52 story point of work. Then committed story point will be how much? 52 story point. Yes or no? For example, but Rizwan, 50 was the average velocity. Can team plan 52? Yes, plus minus 5% is okay. हम कहाँ जी रहे? Practical word में. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? हमको rigid नहीं होना. Agile means what? We should be
Adaptable to
Flexible.
change.
correct.
Adaptation.
Adaptation. So, hey, yes, your team should plan 50 story point of work, but yes, plus minus 5% is okay if it is required. So, and this is called, guys, this was the average velocity. This 50 is called average velocity. Very high concern. All these terminologies I'm teaching you. And whatever work, for example, your team take 52. This was average velocity. And this committed story point is called in a real word as a load. Like how much story point your team has taken, this is called load. What it is called? Load. And how much load can be? Load can be plus minus 5% of average velocity. अब ये प्लस माइनस 5% रिजवान स्क्रम गाइड में नहीं लिखा है, हम प्रैक्टिकल भी बात करते. करेक्ट? इतना तो कर सकते. एवरेज वेलोसिटी. क्लियर? Now let's come here. Now, if they will ask you, hey, what is velocity and how do you calculate? The answer I am going to give you, that much only you have to tell, no here and there. Velocity is a rate or a pace at which you're delivering a story point every sprint, or how many story point. It helps us to calculate how many story point of work our team can plan in the next sprint. For example, a sprint 1 my team delivered 40 story point. A sprint 2 my team delivered 38 story point. A sprint 3 my team delivered 42 story point. A sprint 4 my team delivered 40 story point. A sprint 5 my team delivered 40 story point. So if I have to plan a sprint 6, what I'll do, I'll take the average of last 5 sprint, and whatever will come, that will be my velocity. Talk in numbers, 2D to 3D, only definition will not work. And if you take the example, I have taken example in such a way that I will be able to calculate the average easily. कोई आके 37, 38, 39, 29, उससे average ही नहीं हो रहा. Take the example, it's about making them understand. Are you getting my point? You can take 50, 50, 50. Apart from this, all this knowledge you don't have to give that, hey, committed, spillover, commitment, reliability. No. This is extra knowledge I have given you. Commitment, reliability will be covering later on. Now, one more question. Rizwan, you are telling velocity is 40 story point, but 40 is not a Fibonacci number, no? What are you talking? Answer.
It is a sum of Fibonacci numbers, not necessarily.
Yes, very good. Who answered?
Rahul.
Can you clap for Rahul, guys, fast? It is a sum of Fibonacci number, not a Fibonacci number. A story, guys, for example, 40, that means 40 story point your team has to plan. Yeah, suno अच्छे से. For example, 40 story point your team. Your average velocity, you got it? 40 story point. Madhu, please mute yourself. Here. 40 story. That means you can take, for example, these are the story. Story number 1, 2, 3, 4, very high concentration. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. All 8 story you can take. This is a story point. Very high concentration. 5, 5, 5, 5. And just copy and paste it. Control C and Control V. Now it is sum of how much it is coming? 40 story point. So all these are Fibonacci number and sum is coming. But you can also take. For example, you have taken only 5 story of 8 story point each also. Can take it. Total 40 story point of work you can take it. So for example, everything is 8 story point of work. That is also not the problem, correct? Making sense? For example, this is 8, 8, Control C, Control V, and for example, this also you can take. You can take 20 stories. You can take also 20 stories of 2 story point each. Yes or no?
Yes.
You can also take few stories, 5 story point, few stories, 3 story point, few story, 8 story point, and whatever. But total 40 story point of work will be there. So it's not like here number of stories. It's always like total story points. Yes or no? Chalo, next question. In this case, the work will be more, or in this case, work will be more? Meenakshi? In this case, work will be more, or in this case, work will be more?
In the second.
Both will be same.
Rasik, which case work will be more? This case of 5 story point of 8 story, or 8 story point of 5 story, which case work will be more?
It will be equal.
It will be equal, no bhaiya, it will be same.
It will be same.
हाँ, तो ये कहाँ से मीनाक्षी?
No, it will be equal.
It will be equal 40, 40. This effort is not about number of a story. It's always total story point.
Yeah.
But every single story, the story pointing will be in Fibonacci number. Total can be anything. Making sense? Making sense? So far you are clear? So far you are clear? Now. What we discussed that, hey, this sum can be anything, but whatever the work, 40 story point, if you have to take the work, you'll be taking multiple stories. Total sum should be 40 story point. That can be 5 story of 8 story point also. That can be 8 stories of 5 story point also. That can be 20 stories of 2 story point also. Total sum should be 40 story, because that much work you have to take. So that can be sum of multiple stories, but the total sum of a story point is the effort. It should come around 40 story point. Making sense? Making sense? Making sense. Now, hey Rizwan, next question. Rizwan, you just mentioned that you have to take average of minimum 3 to 4 sprint. You have to take the average of minimum 3 to 4 sprint. सुनते रहो, आज सुनने वाला दिन है. Minimum to 3 to 4 sprint iteration. But what if I am planning first sprint? मेरे पास तो एवरेज नहीं होगा. What if I am planning second sprint? मेरे पास एवरेज तो नहीं होगा. अब कैसे करेंगे?
On the basis of capacity.
Guys, this question I will answer you in a while. Abhi, this question is not answered. Because see, okay, if you have minimum 3 sprint, you can take the average of last 3, and whatever will come, you can take that much work your team should plan in the next sprint. But what if your team is kind of planning the first sprint or the second sprint? This question wait for today. Or if time permits, I will answer it. Making sense? So far clear? Now, let me repeat it. Whatever you discussed, hey, velocity is a rate or a pace at which you are delivering a story point every sprint, or how many story point your team is able to deliver every sprint on an average. How do you calculate the velocity? We take the average of delivered story point, delivered story point, delivered story point. And for example, first sprint your team delivered this much, second this much, third this much, fourth, fifth. We'll take the average, whatever the average come, this will be the total story point. This is the other concept I have discussed. Spillover is equal to committed minus delivered. Commitment reliability is equal to delivered by committed into 100. And we discuss whenever the spillover will be more, commitment reliability will be less. Whenever spillover will be, commitment reliability will be 100%. And ideally, how much should be commitment reliability? 100%. Practically, more than 90%. What is the use case of commitment reliability? The work should be given to a team who, if any critical and important project coming, those कमिटमेंट रिलायबिलिटी would be good. Work should be given to them. पैसा उसी को मिलता है जो टाइम पे पैसा देता है. Simple, simple, simple. Now. So this is what you have to learn. Now, one more thing. I told you, if you remember, whenever you heard the term called estimation, you have to hear relative estimation. What you guys are here? Estimation. What you guys are hearing?
Relative estimation.
So whenever I talk about the velocity, what you guys have to hear?
Average velocity.
Average velocity. There is no concept called velocity. Average. Why average velocity? We are taking the average while calculating the velocity. That's why it is called as average velocity. Average velocity. तो आज से ये नहीं सुनना. एक और चीज. Well, average velocity. They will take estimation. You don't have to correct. But what you are listening? Average.
Relative.
Estimation. Relative estimation. Making sense? Now, let's go to the capacity. Here, very high concentration. What is capacity? Total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. Now, let's form one Scrum team. Deepali. Barsha is there today? Barsha is there today? Kalpa. Omkar. Prasanna. I am in a mood to take backbenchers' name so that they will work hard. Prasanna. Who else? Mirali. I don't know whether she's a backbencher or no, but okay. Mirali. Any backbenchers, please nominate your name. Sohel. Sajis. Chalo, any name, let me take it. Rasik. And then any other name? Ashwin. Ashwin. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can a Scrum team be more than 10 members or no? Can a Scrum team be more than 10 members or no?
They can be.
It can be. There is no restriction. It can be. Correct? Now, these are the team members. I'm just calculating. Deepali is a PO. Barsha is a BA. And Kalpa is a Scrum Master. Now, these Omkar is a dev lead. Prasanna is a developer. Mirali is a developer. Sohel is a developer. Sajis is a test lead. Rasik is a tester. And Ashwin is a tester. This is a normal Scrum team of 10 members. And these are their roles or accountabilities, whatever you want to write. Now, number of available days. 2 week sprint, how many number of available days will be?
10 days.
10 days. 10 days. 7 days? 10 days. Now, I'm just dragging and dropping. Very high concentration. Now, you remember, whenever I'm doing something, remember what Rizwan is going to do? Total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. Now, this sprint is having a 10 working days. We are taking the 2 week sprint example. You're not taking any other example, you're taking the 2 week sprint. If 3 week will be there, then accordingly dates will get changed 15 days. If 4 week will be there, total number of available days will be 20 days. Now, total number of available hour in a day. Let's assume this team ka timing at 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mostly all the companies have 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. schedule or something like 9 hour. Any timing 9 hour. Look, everyone have a 9 hour.
This one 9 will be total hours
Total hours.
or
Now,
8 will
total.
be working hours.
No, I'm taking total number of available hour in a day. I'm taking total hours. Okay, available hour. We are not working hour. We are taking total number of available hour. Now, there is a concept of productive hour. What you discuss? The total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team is called a capacity. Correct? Now we have to calculate the productive hour. Now try to understand how to calculate the productive hours. Very high concentration. Productive hour means what? You have total 9 hours, including 1 hour. Out of this 1 hour, mostly they give the break. Correct? If you have 30 minutes, you can calculate 30 minutes. This is not a topic for argument. Now, 9 hour is a total hour. 1 hour I'm just assuming is a break time. And 2 hour I'm assuming that, hey, it goes for a meeting time. Lot of meeting happen. Daily stand-up, sprint planning, review, retro, developers attend some other dependencies meeting and all this. I'm just assuming 2 hour is a meeting time. Once you calculate the real capacity, we'll discuss exactly how much it will be there. I'm just assuming. Can I assume? Now, what will be the total number of productive hours? This is called, guys, this 2 hour always called as a non-productive hours. Non-productive hour means the hours where the developers or testers are not exactly doing development or testing work. The hours where developers or testers are not exactly doing development and test. Making sense? Now, here, very high. Now, what will be the total number of productive hour? 9 minus 1 minus
6
6 hours.
hours.
6 hours. So far, we are aligned. Saranya, we are aligned. 6 hours.
Yes.
Total number of productive hour is 6 hours. We have taken 1 hour break time and 2 hour. You are assuming that, hey, for example, some people have 30 minutes break time. Please adjust. For example, you have only 1 hour meeting time every day. Please adjust accordingly. It will come more and less. We are just taking the example now. 6 hour is a productive hour for all the team members. We are just on a high level calculating it. 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours. No. Here. Very high concentration. Correct? Now, total hour. See, Dipali was having 10 days. Total every day Dipali is having 6 hour productive hour. The total productive hour Dipali has how much? This into this. Correct? And if I can drag and drop, everyone total productive hours will come. And if I sum it total, is this the right capacity?
No.
Why? What you guys? What was the definition? 1 second. What are the definition? Total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. This is the Scrum team. This is the productive hour. In 10 days, these are the productive hours, and I'll sum it up. So don't you think it is the total number of productive hours available for
No,
a
sir.
Scrum?
But
Should only be developers.
B and SN
won't be
are
counted
not
in
productive hours, right?
Yes.
Not
3 people.
developers.
Correct. Few people told that these people will not be counted.
Not be counted.
Your words are my command. I can delete this. Correct? Because they are not directly contributing in development and testing. Now, is it a right capacity?
No, not yet.
Why?
Unplanned
What
leaves
about the
and risk
leave
uncertainties,
Yeah.
all that.
emergency leave?
Yes,
Mission
guys, there can be a please mute yourself. There can be a plan leaves. For example, in this
holiday?
for example, plan leaves, holidays. For example, let's take the example. In this sprint, 1st May is a holiday. 1st May is coming in between the sprint. Labor Day. सब excited हो? बढ़िया? No. 1st May को class एक करते हैं. चलो. Now, plan leaves. Now come here to the plan leaves. Now, for example, Prasanna has a plan leave for Prasanna has a plan leave for 3 days. Sohail has a plan leave for 2 days. And other people don't have a plan leave. Can happen? Everyone
Yes.
and other people. Now, what I'll do, 1st May is a holiday. And so every single person will be on leave that day. It's not like, hey, chalo, ek din sprint बढ़ा देते हैं. Now, all this will come down to 9. Now, the sprint will have how much days? 9 days. Guys, what I'm teaching now in a real world, you'll be able to implement it. So you are going to learn in detail, just concentrate high. Now here, 9, 9, 9. Everyone 9. This is adjusted now. Now 3 Prasanna and Sohail 2. Prasanna 3. That means 9 minus 3. Prasanna is only available for 6 days and Sohail is available for 7 days. Making
7.
sense?
Yes.
Now we have calculated their plan leaves and holidays, and the moment you have calculated, see here, the working hours got changed. Prasanna 6 days, 6. Total number of productive hour 36. This Sohail 7 into 6 42. This got adjusted because we have used the formula. Now the capacity came 348. Is this the right capacity?
Sick leave
There
and
can be unplanned leaves.
Unplanned leaves. Right.
Yes. Now what you done?
Well,
Rizwan, unplanned leaves you have not counted. Sick leave you have not counted. Some emergency leave all comes into the unplanned leaves. Plus, Rizwan, you are discussing about, hey, complexity, unknowns. I don't know how many great terms you have given. Risk, dependencies. You are discussing about all this. You have spoiled our mind for 2 days during the estimation and all this. Now, don't you think it should also be counted? Answer is yes. And unplanned leave, you can't count. You unplanned leave is called unplanned. Sick leave is called sick. No one will tell you early. Correct? First, tell me, when do you count the capacity? When do you calculate the capacity? Before starting the sprint or after starting the sprint?
Before starting the sprint.
Correct. For example, your sprint is starting. Your sprint is, for example, starting here for this year. This is the May. For example, 1st of May, your 2nd of May, your sprint is starting. So 2nd of May, say before you should have a capacity. Correct. Then you'll get to know exactly how much hour available for a team. Making sense? So that means before 2nd of May, you will not have an unplanned and sick leave. In between, bunk marenge. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? In between, they will say, I am sick, even they are not sick. Correct? Something kind of. Now, how to adjust this? Because these are uncontrollable item. How to adjust this? For this, there is a concept called, for both, there is a concept called focus factor. And what is focus factor? I am just writing a definition here. For very high concentration, lot of things to learn. Focus factor, it's nothing but ability for a team to focus on a sprint. It's nothing but ability for a team to focus on a sprint without any impediments and blockers. What do you mean by this? Guys, these can be a blocker if unplanned leave, sick leave, that can also be blocker. If some stories, some work might, for example, you might have assumed 20 hours, it is taking more time, that can also be blocker. That's why whatever the capacity come, ideally in an ideal world, let's say 80 to 85% focus factor. Very high concentration. Why 20% buffer? You can take 80 also, you can take 85 also. Why 15 to 20% buffer? For this factor. Now, whatever the capacity came now here, see, so far this one came after excluding POBASM, plus you have counting planned leaves and holidays, plus total number of productive hours. This came, but this one can also came unplanned sick for this 20% buffer. For example, you are taking 80% as a focus factor. For example, you are taking 80% as a focus factor. Now what will happen? The final capacity will be here, this into this, here, this into 80%. Now 278 will be the final capacity. Now, no. You might have heard Rizwan.
Sorry to interrupt, Rizwan. So I have one question. So here in our Scrum team we have dev leads and test leads also, right?
मैम थोड़ा सा
And
रुक जाओ ना, मैं बोला ना पेशेंस ना.
usually leads will
Saranya, थोड़ा
okay.
सा patience. What leads, what this? I'm just giving the example. Once I say that, hey, the session is closed, I'm not going to go even it is taking 4 p.m. थोड़ा सा. First, I'm giving the basics. Sessions are not ended. I am going to, what you are asking, no, this is here. This is here, accountability part. I know what you can ask. थोड़ा सा patience रखो ना, please. Now, here. This is around 278 hours, 80%. Now, actual team capacity is 348 hour. Actual team have 348 hour, but 278-hour work we are going to take. Why? What is the gap? What is the buffer here? Buffer is, what is the buffer here? This minus this is the buffer. 69.6 hour is a buffer. Actual capacity was this, very high concentration. Current any doubt you can ask multiple times. Future I will discuss. Now, this was the actual capacity, but 80% focus factor you have taken, 69.6 hour. This buffer. Then it is coming. That means we have actually 348 hour available for a team. But we are going to plan the work for only 278 hour. We are taking 670-hour buffer. Why? What if few unplanned leave will be there? In those 70 hour, it can get adjusted. What if some work which was the team estimated it will take 50 hour, but it is taking 70 hour? So this buffer is there to kind of absorb this. Are you getting my point?
Rizwan, can you explain it again? This 69.6, how you calculated it?
80% of the focus factor. 348 was the capacity. 80% of 348 is equal to 278 hour. Now, 348 minus 278 is equal to 69.6 hour. This is a buffer. This minus this is equal to buffer. Like that means actual capacity of the team was 348 hour. But you, after counting the focus factor of 80%, the capacity comes around 278 hour. That means you are taking the gap buffer of 69. Why? Because these things will come during the sprint. There can be unplanned leave. There can be some more complexity, unknown risk and dependencies. That's why you are taking this much buffer. This is the standard. Some companies take 80%, some companies take 85%. We are taking the buffer as 80%. Making sense? Again, whatever I have done so far, I am repeating. थोड़ा यहाँ ध्यान दे दो. That hey, you will have the Scrum team. There can be n number of members. You have taken 10 member. There will be different accountabilities, POB, ASM, Dev, QA, and all this. Now, capacity is total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. These three people we are not counting because they are not contributed in direct capacity calculation. Now we are left with these people. Total number of available available days were 10 days, but we have calculated the planned holidays, so that's why we have adjusted one day, and then we have 3 and 2 leaves were there. Planned leave we have adjusted. Productive hours we calculated using this 9 minus 1 minus 2 6 hour, and whatever the productive hours came and whatever the number of available days actually they were having, we multiplied this. So this came individual productive hours. Omkar individual productive hour is 54 hour. Prasanna individual productive hours for that particular sprint is 36 hour. Mirali productive hours for that particular sprint is 54, and so on and so forth. Capacity came this. But so far, whatever you calculated, this part was not there. Unplanned leave, complexity, unknown, and risk, because that will come while doing in between the sprint. You can't take unplanned leave before starting the sprint because you calculate the capacity before starting the sprint. How will you adjust this? To adjust this, you take the focus factor of 80 to 85%, either 80 or 85%. We are going to take 80%. So 340 into 80%, 278. That means buffer came around 20%. This is 20% buffer. 69.6 hour is a 20%. Why you are taking 9.6 20% buffer? What if there is unplanned, sick, leave, complexity, unknown, and risk? So actual capacity, guys, this is a total capacity, and this is, you can say, final capacity. This you can say final capacity. I formula got G43 80%. 1 second. 80%, and now if you see G43 को कर दो G44. If it is not coming, completely fine. Again, you can use, oh my God, back. Correct? So this was the actual team has 348-hour event today. But when you are going to plan the work, you are going to plan for work for 278 hour only. Why? Because if these things will come, how will you adjust this? So you are taking the buffer. Are you getting my point? कभी होता है ना मेडिकल एक्सपेंस कभी आ जाए तो हम पैसा बचा के रखते घर पे. We have lot of money. For example, we have 1 lakh rupees, but our monthly expenditure is 30,000 we are saving. Okay? What if some unnecessary medical expense come? What if someone has to go to the hospital? We should have some money, no? Emergency fund. Yes or no? This is how should we take, how much should we focus factor? 80% or 85%. If they will ask you in your company what is the focus factor, you say 80%. If you like 85 word more than 80, please go ahead and tell 85 with confidence. It's all. I like 80 more. I am giving it 80%. Making sense? Clear? Yeah. Any question, Rinkesh?
So Rizwan, I have one question. Now we have done this capacity planning in at the start of the sprint, where we took the planned leaves as well. Now suppose the sprint got started, we have the final calculation, everything is there. Now the sprint has started, and Prasanna, who has planned 3 leaves in this sprint, and fortunately or unfortunately, he changed his plan and he is now available. So in that case, in the mid of the sprint, this whole calculation will got again changed.
No.
Right?
If he is available, then we can bring it to the retro. For example, if he is available and he's telling he's canceling the leave or something kind of, it's okay. Then at least now your buffer might get increased. Correct? 69 ke paas you might have 100 hour. So having a buffer, always having more hour available in your pocket is better than coming in the situation where you don't have hour. Are you getting my point? Having a money in your hand is always better than coming in a situation where you don't have a money. So if you have more hours available, and if you see your team has come back from a leave, you can always ask PO, hey, or if any other thing you can take in the sprint or something kind of, you can take some more. Correct, no, Rinkesh?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
tell me.
So that's what my question. So we can make the changes in the buffer, and so in the whole calculation.
Total capacity will go up.
Will
If
go
this
up,
will
yes.
go up, final capacity will go up. Final capacity accordingly will get adjusted, and accordingly you will have it. And if you see that much work you have not planned, you can always initiate a discussion with the PO and take some other work in advance. That is completely, but that is very rare case.
Yeah, then people don't cancel their leaves.
Yes. For them to take holy days, they need to go through approval. How will they cancel it? Okay. Yeah, Kalpa.
I have a question regarding the productive hour where we defined here as 6 hours. Is it again the average, Rizwan, we are taking? Because on
Yes,
a real
see, 1 hour is a break time. If you have 30 minutes, you take 30. 2 hour is average. Someday you might have 1.5 hour meeting time. Someday you might have 60-minute meeting time. Some you have 3 hour. So based on the empiricism, whatever you are doing, based on the empiricism. Empiricism means learning from a past experience. I just took the example. Once you go to the real capacity calculation sheet here, all this thing will come into picture. I'm making a base to understand. First you need to understand. You got it?
Yeah, I was thinking that whether all the developers in the team will have a same productive, because it may vary from person to person, right? So
On an average, you are not going in exact numbers. Exact numbers, if you go, you will never be able to calculate the capacity. Plus minus 5%, 10% is okay. Even the work, whatever you're going to estimate, that will be plus minus 5, 10%. Correct, no?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Any other question? Yeah, Pratik.
Yeah, so Rizwan, just one small question. Who generally, track these whole capacity?
Scrum Masters. Scrum Master has to calculate the capacity. Scrum Master has to calculate the capacity. And his job is to make sure team capacity is utilized. What do you mean by utilization? I'll come to this. We are still in the very basic of capacity.
Okay.
Thoda sa patience. Okay? Yeah, Pratik, any other question?
No, Rizwan, it's sorted.
Okay. Anushri?
Rizwan, one small doubt. Like I have seen that for people, they will be sending tentative leave plans. So in that case, should we consider them as an unplanned or planned?
Tentative leave plan comes 3 months back, 4 months back. Now you are going to start the sprint on 1st of May. So again, you can confirm with that person, hey, now the sprint is going to start from 1st of May. 14th of May will be the last date. By that time, they should have a confirmation of whether they are going to take a leave or
Yeah.
not. So one day
Yeah.
prior, you can calculate that tentative become the confirm leave.
Okay.
Making sense?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Sudarshan?
Yeah. Did Scrum says to means how many percentage we should achieve in a sprint when we are planning? Suppose we planned for 100%.
Scrum only says to achieve the sprint goal by end of the sprint. Scrum says daily stand up, or if you read the Scrum guide, that whatever the work you are taking in the sprint, you will have a sprint goal. You have to achieve the sprint goal by end of the sprint. But apart from the Scrum guide, the companies have to make sure that whatever the resources they are putting it across, those resources are being utilized. So we are doing this. Clear?
Okay. One more question I have. Regarding the leave plan, what would be the trainer? How many days before we should? Because here, if
see what will happen, how to guys, very good question. How to make sure that, hey, what you do know, how to get the leave from a team? Very good question. How to get the leave from a team?
Yes, that was.
Leave from a team in advance, guys. You will have Confluence page, which everyone will have access. You can have some shared drive, or what you can do, you can drop an email to the team. You will be knowing in advance that after 5 days new sprint is going to start. So 5 days or 4 to 5 days prior, you can drop an email. Whatever suits you, you can drop an email. And what you can say that, hey, guys, let me know your plan leave because I need to calculate the capacity. So Confluence, what I do personally, will have the leave tracker, and whatever their leave from this particular sprint, they can update those leave tracker. If any PTO is there or anything, unplanned leave, they will not be. Unplanned leave is unplanned leave, so they will not be able to upload. But PTO means planned time off, anything. Holidays, if there is, lot of companies, there will be not a mandatory holiday, optional holiday. So whoever is taking, they will update. Whoever is not taking, they will not update. And accordingly, I can go one day prior and I can take all those leave details from here. You got it?
No. So all these are integrated with Jira, or else this is separate?
No, you can take separate also, and Jira also there is a capacity calculation. It's all about, see, Sudarshan, it's all about calculating the right capacity. It doesn't matter which tool you are using. So concept should be clear. Clear?
Yes.
Very good question. Kalpa, you have still a question. Your hands are raised.
No, Rizwan, sorry.
Okay. Preetam?
So I just got confused between here in capacity, we are taking the work, right, as per the capacity that is in my man hour. But while taking the work, we take it in user stories, right?
You understood very well. This is my question to ask. Very good question, guys. What Pritam is asking, I'll come later on. I will ask what Pritam is asking, that, hey Rizwan, I'm really thankful that you observed. Hey Rizwan, you are taking that, hey, whenever you are taking the work, here, very high concentration. Whenever you're taking the work, we should take based on the average velocity, correct? For example, very high concentration, very good question, based on the average velocity. Average velocity means like average of last 5 sprints. For example, this is a sprint 7 or a sprint 6, and your average velocity for a sprint 6 came around very high concentration. Average velocity for a sprint 6 came around 40 story point of view. So what will happen? And let's take the example here. For example, this is a podded backlog, very high concentration. Under podded backlog, there are a lot of work, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just drag and drop. There are around 200 items in your podded backlog, and just take the example that, hey, these are all the podded backlog items. User story number 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, and this is the story point, SP 5, 3, 8. You have estimated, that means it is groomed. 2, 3, 5, 8, 8, and just copy and paste it, and here Pritam, you can correct me if your question was not this. थोड़ा सा मेरे को first question let me explain. For example, this is the, and let's assume that hey, this much story points of work are only grown. That's why you have given the estimation. Remaining are not grown. Now, very high concentration. Now, your average velocity is 40, and this is the product backlog. So during the sprint backlog, during the sprint planning, we'll be taking the item from a product backlog to the sprint backlog. During a sprint planning, correct? Everyone, very high concentration. During the sprint planning, you will be taking the work from a product backlog to the sprint backlog. Now your 40 story points will be taking 40. How much it is coming? It is coming around, sum is exactly coming around 40, correct? That means, for example, these stories are prioritized. These stories are meeting definition of ready. We will be taking these work from a product backlog to the sprint backlog, correct? Correct? This much on the basis of average velocity, and if you sum it up, this is coming around 40 story point. Very high concentration. Lot of questions in the interview, and they will grill you here. That's why I'm giving lot of time. Now here, Rizwan, based on the average velocity, you took the work from product backlog to the sprint backlog, and there are total 7 work came here. Where does capacity come into the picture? This was the question, sir.
Yes, Rizwan. Yes.
Where does capacity comes into the picture?
Subtask.
Guys, there are two. This is one question unanswered, and there is another question unanswered is this one. There is another question unanswered is, if first sprint if you plan how much work you should do, second sprint if you plan how, because there will be no average velocity. Let's go this question first. Now, how should we plan the work? Where it is? How should we plan the work? What does capacity comes into the picture? Tell me.
Subtask.
Anyone else? Rahul?
Maybe first sprint. While planning
No,
first
no.
sprint.
So that means after 1 or 2 sprint, you don't have to calculate the capacity of your team?
No.
During
No,
the
no.
sprint planning.
Capacity, guys. Once it will come, sites. I'll explain in detail in the next class. You will take the work based on the average velocity. This is correct. So far, it is correct. Capacity comes in the picture. See, every individual people here will have their own capacity. Some person has 54 hours, some person has 36 hours, some person has 54, 42, 54, 54, 54. Now, some are developers, some are tester. To utilize the individual. Now, once you take the work, now what will happen? There will be a dev subtask created. There will be a testing subtask created. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
There will be a testing subtask created, and that should be assigned to someone. Dev subtask will be taken by someone. He will give the estimate. Testing subtask will be taken by someone. He will give the estimate. The capacity comes into the picture to utilize individual capacity. To utilize individual capacity. For example, Prasanna was only having a 36 hour. So we have to give Prasanna only 36 hour of work. For example, someone have more hour, you have to give more hour of work. So every single story, once you taken the work, now the team has to start working on it. So this to start working on the first story, team has to create the dev subtask, testing subtask. For example, dev subtask is taken by. For example, dev subtask is taken by for this story. Who is the developer here? If you come here, who is the developer here? Developer is, for example, Prasanna. Prasanna has how much hour? 36 hour. And for example, testing is taken by Ashwin. Now here, if you come here, just take the example of this only. Here. For example, this is taken by Prasanna. Hey Prasanna, how much time will take to complete the first story? I'm talking about the Prasanna is like I'll take 12 hours. Hey, testing subtask is taken by Ashwin. Hey Ashwin, how much time will you take? Ashwin is like I will take 15 hours. Now what will happen? Prasanna has how much? 36. Prasanna was having already 36 hours. Now 20 hours of 12 hours of work taken. That means now we have to give only 24 hours of work to Prasanna. Ashwin was having, I think, something around 54 hours. So 54 minus 15, that means I have to give Ashwin 39 hours. So we have to accordingly, and again the second story will go like same, third story will go like same, fourth story will go like same, and accordingly we'll be utilizing. We should make sure you are not giving more work, more than 36 hour work to Prasanna, more than 50 hour work to. So everyone will have their own individual capacity, and accordingly you have to allocate the work. More discussion on this in the next class. I just gave you the idea like, hey, where does capacity comes in the picture? To utilize individual capacity. How do you utilize individual capacity? How do you utilize individual capacity?
By assigning workers.
By creating subtask and logging hours. Yes or no? We remember we discussed on the story level, you should give only a story point. But on a subtask level, we can give the hourly estimate during the estimation we have discussed. So where does capacity come into the picture? To utilize individual capacity and log the man hours. And this more on this in the next class. I will give you more brief like how it happened. More on this in the next class. Clear? Yeah, Meenakshi.
Yes, Rizwan. So, my question is that the estimation is always relative. So, how can developer be so sure that he can perform a specific task in 12 hours or 14 hours?
You
It may
you
take
you
more than
you,
that.
you are there in the estimation class.
I was.
So the same thing we discussed that hey, estimation they are doing. For example, they are doing 12 hours. That doesn't mean that they can exactly do in 12 hours. They might complete in 15 hours, 14 hours. So actual hour can differ, estimated hour can differ. And if, for example, estimated hour is something, actual hour is something, how can you say one story point is equal to that much hour? So to answer your question, it will differ. And a story you are dividing into multiple small portion. So it's always will be able to get estimation done on the small thing than the bigger thing. Correct?
Yeah, but my question is that, for example, a developer says I can complete, he has 40 hours of availability as per the capacity, and he says that I can do a specific task in 12 hours, then 28 hours will be left, and we will allocate those 28 hours in some other tasks. What if one story takes more than 12 hours? It takes 15 or 16 hours.
Buffer. That's why instead of 348 hours, you are giving the buffer. We are the actual capacity for whole team is 348 hour. Now, for example, 278 hour you are taking. That means you are giving the buffer to all this uncertainty. This is what to answer your question. Why are you taking 20? Complexity, uncertainty. Because of complexity, there might be few more hours needed. So you should have a buffer of 20 to 20 hour or something kind of. And if there is new team, guys, if anywhere if there is a new team, for example, there is a new team completely, then initial few sprint, take a focus factor as 65 to 70% only, because their estimation might go in more than wrong way, and slowly based on, there is no rule, slowly based on learning or based on empiricism, keep increasing focus factor to keep increasing focus factor until it doesn't reach 80%. If you have a standard of 80%. You got your answer, Meenakshi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next. Yeah, Rahul.
So my question is, how frequently we do capacity planning and
Every single sprint before starting the sprint. Without capacity and velocity, input. Guys, whatever the question you're asking, everything I was about to cover. Only thing you guys are disturbing my flow. It's not like I will not cover. I know what you can ask, but every single thing I was about to cover. But there can be two way. One is you ask and I will keep answering. Another way, you don't ask, I will keep kind of going one by one. So anyway, whatever the batch prefers, I am ready to go with, because I have to teach you. Okay, so I'll go with whatever way this batch wants. Okay, let's go by this way. Now, coming to this question, hey, how frequently we prepare the capacity? I know how much question you can be. I have taken at least hundreds of batches, no? So I know, at least I know. So how frequently we prepare the capacity? Every sprint before starting the sprint. Now, this is one. And guys, what is the input and output of a sprint planning? Another question they ask, because just now Rahul asked, hey, what is the input and output of a sprint planning? Input means what is needed to do the sprint planning. मतलब क्या चाहिए sprint planning करने के लिए? Input of a sprint planning is you need capacity, velocity, we need capacity, we need product backlog. Correct, no? If
Yes.
these things will be there, See here, when this guy was asking a question, Preetham, very good question he asked. Like, hey, what was needed? First, we needed average velocity of 40. Then we are having a product backlog also. So what we did, based on the average velocity, we took the item from product backlog. So this was also needed as an input. This was also needed as an input. And then when capacity will be there, you will be able to utilize the individual capacity. So all three is the input of a sprint planning. If all three will not be there, would you be able to do the sprint planning?
No.
No. What is the output of a sprint planning? Output of a sprint planning is a sprint backlog. Once you plan the sprint, you will be moving the item from product backlog to the sprint backlog. And once a sprint backlog will move the item, you will be setting the sprint goal. For example, these 5 stories we come up with here. These 5 stories we come up with 7 stories. Now, what exactly you want to achieve by implementing? So there will be a sprint goal setup. Yes or no?
Yes.
So output of a sprint planning is input of a sprint planning is velocity, capacity, product backlog. Output of a sprint planning is a sprint backlog, a sprint goal. So to answer your question, every single sprint before starting, you should have average velocity. Every single thing, during the sprint planning, you should have a capacity. You should have a product backlog ready. And output, once you do the sprint planning, once you're like, hey, this meeting is done, you should have a sprint backlog ready. You should have a sprint goal ready. Making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
One more question, this one.
Please.
So at what point we will plan for buffer utilization?
During the capacity calculation. For
No,
example,
we have buffer available in between the sprint, right? Say 70 hours. So
if any uncertainty will come that time, in between the sprint, there will be some sick leave sick leave is one or two sick leave gonna come. There can be some work, what she was asking Meenakshi, that hey, there can be some work who will be taking more hour because you are working in agile. So already buffer is getting utilized throughout the sprint.
Okay.
There might be a question here, Rizwan, what if buffer is less? There can be more buffer required. To answer this question, if there is more buffer required or there is something more, you can always go to, if you see that kind of situation, you can always go to resource manager, ask for additional resource. So daily, once you do the daily stand up, you assess the risk.
Okay.
Whether you are able to complete the work, not able to complete. For example, during the daily stand up, you got to know 2 critical resources have gone on a emergency leave, urgent leave, and you see the risk of not completing the work. We'll connect with the dev lead, QA lead. You'll see like, hey, how much, because buffer is not sufficient to cover. Then if you work with them, you'll ask, hey, how many more resources you need to achieve the sprint goal. For example, they're like, hey, 1 or 2 more resources you needed. You'll go to the resource manager, delivery manager, ask for a resource. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Kalpa?
Something like a scenario based, I have one question. For example, when we have a 80%, I'm keeping 20% as a buffer. So sometimes a product owner comes in with 2 more stories to be added in a sprint mid.
Kalpa. This is the same question. What is a scope creep? I have already, a scope creep means what? This question, if I have to write in a different way, मैं नहीं छोड़ के भागने वाला भैया. दुनिया, in India, no one teaches for a 3-month Scrum training. I'm not going to leave you guys if at this point of time you guys are not able to build a trust with me, you guys are gone. अभी तक मैंने स्क्रम कंप्लीट नहीं किया, अभी तक स्क्रम सेफ कानमान कंप्लीट करके उठा के फेंक देते, पता भी नहीं लगता. I have written the question. No, that means Rizwan is going to discuss. इतना तो trust होना चाहिए ना. What is scope creep? Scope creep का मतलब क्या होता है? Same question that, hey, for example, your average velocity is. If you guys want to go with the question and answer, I am ready to go. But yours loss. Lot of things I might miss. Then yours loss. Be ready to achieve those. Because if my flow will get disturbed, everything is get disturbed. Scope creep का मतलब ये होता है. For example, your average velocity is 40 story point, and your PO suddenly come up with, for example, 2 stories of 5 story point each. How will you handle this situation as a Scrum Master? मैंने अभी कैपेसिटी की सीट्स नहीं बताई है. अभी मैंने कैपेसिटी का 5% नहीं कवर किया है. एवरी सिंगल थिंग यू आर लाइक, हे, लेट मी बी इम्पेशेंट लाइक हेल एंड लेट मी आस्क ऑल दोस क्वेश्चंस हियर until अरे I can answer, but the problem is it's your loss. You want to go with this flow? Let's go. I'll only answer those questions. I will, Kalpa, थोड़ा सा पेशेंस रखो ना. I will the moment I'll say, hey, this topic is done, any question, it's my guarantee that not a single question will be left unanswered. That much in surety I'm giving, no. I'm going to be with you till 4 o'clock. Be there, no, if your questions are not answered. I have told that, hey, 2 class I'll take, no. Correct, no? Yes, next. Whatever I have covered so far, if any understanding problem is there in whatever I have written and whatever I have covered, please ask those questions. Yeah, Sumir. Sir, you are speaking on mute.
Sorry, based on the understanding, we got to know that based on the velocity, whatever velocity team have, average velocity, we will be planning that as a next sprint commitment. So, Rizwan, in real life, like we see much changes in the velocity of the team. Like, say, after 7 or 8 sprints, there will be more complex work. So, in real life, do we see much
if more
changes?
complex will be there, then the more story point will be more, no? What is a story pointing? A story point, if the complexity is more, risk are more, uncertainty is more, a story point will be more, no? So the velocity will be taking the same work, but if the a story point will be more, then same story pointing is counting, no, those things.
Okay.
How do you calculate the story point? Based on complexity, based on the risk, based on the dependency, based on the unknown. So if you see the more complex work are coming after 7 to 8 sprint, what will you do?
Estimation of
Then your story pointing of those work would be more.
got
So
it.
that is already counted, no?
Got it.
Yes. Any other question? Okay. Now, guys, what I have covered, let me complete it. Guys, please be reassured that your questions are going to get answered. I'm not going to leave. I am not teaching you just for the sake of teaching you. I teach because I love teaching. So, thoda sa na, now this is 1 month. First 4 or 5 classes we struggle to build the trust that happens. But after this batch is already more than 1 month old. You have not seen other batches of mine. If you see now, the people kind of directly connect with me. You have to start connecting now. You have to, hey, this guy is there, this guy is going to take care of every single thing. Let me first listen to him. Whatever the questions write on paper, no. Hey, all the question I'll ask with Rizwan in the end. Can't it happen? But currently, whatever I'm discussing, ask those questions. For example, you are not able to understand this line, you're not able to understand this line. Please ask, no. I will at least cover, no. Please. Otherwise, what will happen? The time will get elapsed and a lot of people are not able to understand. Okay. Now, what we covered so far, guys, that hey, capacity is equal to total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. Unit is man hours. Capacity calculation, whenever we do, we exclude SMPO, BASA. Velocity is a rate or a pace at which you are delivering a story point every sprint, like hey, how much work you have to, how much work your team is able to deliver every single sprint. And use cases, for example, this is the sprint, different sprint. This is a past sprint, and this is the delivered story point. Then, if the sprint 6 you have to plan, you'll be taking the average of delivered story point, and this will be the average velocity. We also discussed that hey, whenever you calculate the minimum 3 to 4 sprint you have to take, even you can take 4 or 5 sprint also, 5 or 6 sprint also, whatever you can take it. We also discussed that if a spillover will be more, commitment reliability will be less, and if the spillover is 0, commitment reliability will be 100%. And you also discussed that hey, this 40 story point is the total number of total sum of the story points. Not, this should not be in a Fibonacci number, but whatever the story you are going to take, that should be in the Fibonacci number. And we also discussed that hey, this question is still unanswered, that hey, average velocity you take average of last 3 to 4 sprint. But if you are planning the first sprint, if you are planning the second sprint, how will you do this? I'm going to discuss in the next class. If time permits today, I'll discuss today. And you also discussed that hey, estimation, relative estimation, velocity, average velocity. We came to the capacity. We discussed whenever you calculate the capacity, first we'll have a team member, then their accountabilities, number of available days, 10 days. If any plan leaves, we'll be reducing those. Then if any mandatory holidays, will be reducing those. And if any planned leave for Prasanna, for Sohel, we will be adjusting those. And accordingly we'll be calculating the productive hours. 9 minus 1 minus 2 took the example, 6 hours. And accordingly this total total number of available hour, productive hours came for every single individual. We sum it up. This was the capacity. But still, these things were not accounted. Unplanned sick leave. We took the focus factor of 80%, and whatever came, this came around 278.4. That means actual team has 348 hours. But but we are going to take the work of only 278 hours. Why 69-20% gap? Reason being, what if there will be some uncertainty, there will be some complexity, there will be some risk, there will be some sick leave or something we discuss. Apart from this, we also discuss that, hey, what if more leaves are there, this 20% focus factor is not sufficient, then reach out to your resource manager, delivery manager, ask for additional resource. This we discuss. Now, apart from this, we also discuss like, hey, where should you store those, how to get the leave from a team in advance, Confluence, shared drive, and all this. We also discuss that, hey, if there is a new team, then the focus factor you should not keep 80%, you should keep 65 to 70%. And how frequently you prepare the capacity? Obviously every single sprint, because input of the sprint planning is velocity, capacity, product backlog, and output is a sprint backlog and a sprint goal. Now they ask here, very high concern, they ask here, how do you do calculate the capacity? How will you answer this? How do you calculate capacity for your team? Step by step, whatever you have discussed, just make me summarize. First point is, what you do, we'll have team members, correct? Whatever the team members we have, we'll have team members, and while calculating the capacity, you guys can help me in making, while calculating the capacity, we exclude PO, BA, SM. We'll have a team members and we'll calculating the capacity, we exclude PO, BA, SM. Why? Because they are not directly involved, correct? This is one thing. Second, we also, guys, please help me, if you have to frame the answer, we'll have team members and their accountabilities and number of available days. Then we'll have team members and their accountabilities. We'll have team members and their accountabilities, and while calculating a capacity, we exclude PO, BSM because they are not available, because they are not directly involved in this. Second, we'll have number of available days in a sprint. Because you have a 2-week sprint, we'll have a 10 number of days will be 10 days. If any plan leaves or mandatory holidays, here, if any plan leaves or mandatory holidays, we'll adjust in number of days, correct? Then we calculate total number of productive hours. Total number of productive hours. And how do you calculate? Total number of hours. Total number of productive hours is equal to total number of then you calculate total number of productive hours by subtracting total number of non-productive hours. Total number of non-productive hours from total number of hours, correct? Once, and in our example, just to simplify it, total number of hour was 9. I'm just writing it out here. Total number of hour was 9, and what we did, we come like this.
Minus, right?
Yeah. Correct. And once that is done, so now we have number of days available, excluded PO, BSM. What we'll do, we calculate individual capacity. Now we'll have the individual capacity of every team member, of each team member, by multiplying
into days.
Multiplying total number of available days
into productive hours.
Into productive hours. And we sum it up. We sum it up for each individual capacity. to calculate total capacity of the team, correct? Or total capacity of the team. Now, but this is still not enough. This is still not enough. We have still not counted. We have still not counted unplanned leaves, sick leaves, or for example, plus what if the work we have planned taking more time because of uncertainty, risk, unknowns, dependencies. To count this, we take focus factor as how much?
80%.
80%. So, and we multiply focus factor into total capacity to find actual capacity of the team. Yes or no? So this way we need to answer in an interview. And this is what I have discussed in the class, that how do you calculate capacity of a team? We'll have team members and their accountabilities, and this is what we are going to do this. Clear? So far you're clear? Now, you guys need a break or you can continue fast? Continue? Continue. Now, it's the same thing, whatever you learn. I just set the tone for how the discussion. Now, what Saranya have a question, what other people will have a question. Now, we will come one by one. Now, you go here. How in the actually, I am going to give you that sheet. Everyone has to calculate their team capacity and submit it before tomorrow's class. Now, here, let's take the example that your sprint is starting here. Very high concentration. Whatever you have learned, the same apply. For example, your sprint is starting. Let's take the example. Your sprint is starting from 8th of May. I'm just changing the date. Your sprint is starting from 8th of May. 1 second. Let's come here. The start date of the sprint is 8th of May. 8th of May means 5/8. This is a US calendar, so month will be first, and this 2025. The moment I will see 8th of May here, name of the sprint can be anything. Default working hour means 8. Means 9 is total hour. One is break time. So default working hour is 8. Okay, guys, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Now, if you come here, this sprint, your sprint is starting from 8th of May. 8th of May is which date? 8th of May is Thursday. Or you can say, if you want to make it much better, you can say, hey, 7th of May. You can adjust 7th of May or something kind of. Your sprint is starting from 7th of May. 7th May is Wednesday. Now, 7, 8, 9, 3 working days. Then again, Saturday and Sunday is gone. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 working days. And again, 2 working days, Monday and Tuesday. So what is happening? 7 to 20th of May. See here. See the calendar here, my calendar. 7th is starting. 3 days here, 5 days here, and then 2 days here. And then again, 21st, it should be 7 to 20 May. Sorry. 7th of May, and if you go here 20th of May here, and then again it will be starting. Correct? No? 2-week sprint. Clear? Now this one, how it is coming, leave it now as of now. Now let's take these team members. Very high concentration. This was just a kind of a full toss ball to hit the 6. Now we'll go in detail. Now we come here. These were your team members. These were your team members. Let me copy and paste both in one go if I can do. These were your team members. Now, these were your team members. Let me, this person is not your team member. Now, Saranya was about to ask one question, but because of my scolding, she took it back. I understood her feeling. Now, Saranya, very high concentration. Now, Deepali is a PO, Barsha is a BA and Scrum Master. Their allocation will be 0% because they are not able to count. Now, Omkar is a dev lead. Shravani question, let me delete this also. Let's understand from starting. There is a concept called percentage allocation come into the picture, very high concentration. Omkar might be a dev lead for 2 teams also. Happens in a real one. Then Omkar will not be able to give all the times here. He will be able to give 50% of the time. For example, Omkar is a dev lead of 3 teams, then 33.33. I am considering there can be a case that, hey, Omkar is a dev lead of 2 teams. So what is happened? Dev lead of 2 teams, 50%. That means out of 8 hours, he is available with us only for 4 hours a day, and 10 days, 40 hours is available. Making sense? Prasanna, for example, is a dev. Let's take the example that, hey, there can be a case that some resources, Prasanna just join this company 15 days back. Can happen. They can also come to the Scrum team. Now, if I'll calculate Prasanna capacity as 100%, then it will be injustice, because Prasanna has to first understand the application. First have to understand what we are building, functionality, and then she will be able to contribute, and it takes time. In this case, Prasanna, for at least for the 2 to 3 months, she will be going through all those KTs, all those understanding of the application training. She will not be directly contributing in any development and testing. In this case, if this is the case, allocation will be 0. That means Prasanna is available with the team, but nothing she is contributing. Making sense? Making sense? Let's take the example of Mirali. Mirali is a very good developer. Mirali is a good developer and available with the team from last 2 to 3 years. Yes, she is contributing and she is only a part of this team. 100% allocation. That means out of 8 hours, she is giving 8 hours and 10 hour per sprint, 10 into 8, 80 hours. Correct? Let's take the example of Sohel. Sohel is a dev, and he's an experienced dev. Different scenario come. Sohel is an experienced dev, but he is not able to contribute up to the mark. Happens. Some experienced people also not able to contribute up to the mark. That means out of 8 hours, he is only able to do 6.4 hours of work, 80% allocation. Now, you might have a question, Rizwan, how we are coming up with exact 80 number, 100%? You don't have to do. You are a Scrum Master. You just go and connect with this Omkar. Hey, Omkar, you are a dev lead. This person will be managing other people. This person will be knowing the skill set of these people and how they are contributing. Before starting the sprint, you can have a 5-minute call with this person, Omkar. Hey, Omkar, I just wanted to understand. Hey, Prasanna is new. I am giving the allocation as 0%. Is that okay? Yeah, because she's not contributing great. Hey, Mirali, Mirali is really doing 100% you can give. Sohel, how Sohel is performing? Okay. Can you can give 80%. You don't have to decide. You have to take a consent of a dev lead, because dev lead is kind of knowing them technically. Are you getting my point? Now, here. Sajis, for example, Sajis is a test lead for only one team. Sajis is a test lead for only one team, and he's only available, then you can give a 80% allocation. There might be a case Sajis is a test lead for only one team, but he is also a manager and lot of people report to him, but he is also a manager. Guys, please, who is this? But he is also a manager and lot of folks report to him. So manager hai to 20 hour of 20% of the effort might go to all those things, managing people and all this. Okay, 80% you can give. You need to initiate a discussion. Suggest what I know that you are a manager, other team people also report to you or something. 80%. Rasik, for example, is a tester, but Rasik just joined 3 months back. So in 3 months, Rasik will not be able to contribute exactly 100%. Hey, Rasik is, for example, 50% able to catch up. Oh, 50%. That means the moment you'll give 50%, that means out of 8 hours he is available with the team for 8 hours, but he's doing 4 hours work. Can happen. For example, Ashwin is a tester, but Ashwin is a very good test lead. Ashwin is a very good tester. What I'm trying to say, different members of the team will be. Why I was not doing it here? Because first I was giving you normal rasgulla. आफ्टर नॉर्मल रसगुल्ला आई हैव टू गिव. इसीलिए मैं बोलता हूँ यहाँ जितना पढ़ाएगा कोई नहीं पढ़ाएगा इंडिया में. ये मैं लिख के देता हूँ, थोड़ा सुनना स्टार्ट करो. लिसनिंग. यहाँ पे लोग पीएमपी का सर्टिफिकेशन करके बैठे, 10-10 साल के एक्सपीरियंस वाले बैठे, उनको भी नहीं पता होता। एटलीस्ट आई एम द किंग ऑफ माई किंगडम, लेट मी बिलीव, प्लीज बिलीव मी, गिव मी अ टाइम, I know what question you can ask. I have taken hundreds of batches. What I'm trying to say is the different scenarios. Now, Rizwan, whatever the allocation, for example, this we are calculating the capacity for a sprint 1. Now, hey, Rizwan, same allocation will be for a sprint 5 or a sprint 10? No. For example, a sprint 10, your Sohel might has improved 100% can be. Sajis might has been given 3 teams, allocation will get changed. Rasik, for example, now really doing great 100%. What will happen? Before any sprint planning, you just have a normal discussion with your dev lead, your test lead, and just verify the allocation with them. Why not you? Because they are understanding the technical part. Let them align with you. Making sense? Any question on allocation, please. Forum is open for you.
I have one question.
Yeah, Saranya.
Yeah, so it is not about the understanding. So for estimation, the SM will facilitate the planning poker, and then along with all the team members, he will do the estimation. But for this, he will just reach out to dev lead and test lead, and he will go and individually plan.
Correct. Yes, 100%. Yes. Yeah, Madhu.
He will not.
Yeah.
1 second. Yeah, Saranya.
Or such. Okay.
No, he will go to the dev lead and a QA lead, or some company there might be a structure change that hey, some delivery manager or something like who can kind of give you this exactly what they are doing. Correct? No. Whoever can give, mostly dev lead to answer your question. Clear or test lead?
Yes.
Yeah, Madhu.
Yeah. Once after getting a confirmation from a dev lead and test lead, do we have to go back and cross check with the PO and get it confirmed?
Why
before,
PO? Tell me, why PO? What is the job of a PO? PO को इतना बड़ा बनाने का क्या फायदा है? PO
but
job,
end of
sir.
Yeah,
PO job is to get the product backlog. PO को estimate. PO participate in estimation. PO knows the technicality, how Omkar is technical, how Prasanna is technical, how Mirali is technical. PO is again a non-technical person like you. Are you getting my point? PO job is to own the product backlog. PO job is to kind of like get those requirements done, owns the product vision, prioritize the stories. PO, see, why are you contacting? If you understand why, you will not have answer. Omkar is a dev lead. They are day-to-day life working with Prasanna, Mirali, Sohel. Sajis is day-to-day life working with Rasik, Ashwin. These people know the technicalities of it, how technical they are. Correct?
Got it, Rizwan.
Yeah.
Any further question coming back to me on the the estimation of their work or gauging their performance? I will route it back to dev lead and test lead stating this is what you guys have committed, and please answer the question which is coming.
Correct. We should understand that hey, estimation part developers only estimate, testers only estimate, not PO. We should understand PO boundary. We should understand Scrum Master boundary. Correct? No.
Got it. Very clear.
Yeah, Meenakshi.
So Rizwan, is there any specific time when we need to do the capacity planning, or we can do it any time before
You
the
can do
sprint
any
is started?
time before the sprint is starting.
So can we do?
Once you are having a sprint planning, for example, today is the first day of the sprint and you are having a sprint planning, you can prepare your team capacity 1 day prior. You can prepare your team capacity 3 days prior. Only thing that should be prepared during the sprint planning, you should be presenting the capacity because capacity is the input of a sprint planning. Correct, no, Meenakshi?
Yes. So can we do it for 2 sprints in advance, or it?
But you can do, but again, for example, tomorrow you are having a sprint planning. So at least you don't have to present 2 sprint advance capacity. You just have to present the capacity for that particular sprint.
Yes.
So for that, it should be ready. If you are able to do, you are very fast, you can do this. What is the problem? But if you do in advance, then there might be some leaves and plan leaves changes. So again, you might have to adjust it.
So,
correct, no?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Clear? Any other question in percentage allocation? Clear? Like how we give and how this changes? Clear? Now, how does the same thing, whatever you learned here, the same thing will now productive hours, guys. See here, mostly in a Scrum team, what are the productive daily Scrum call? This is, for example, day 1. Day 1 of the sprint. This is a day 2. Day 3. I'm not writing a date, anything. Day 4. Day 5. Day 6. Day 7. Day 8. Day 9. बोलोगे ये एक ही करके मैनुअली क्यों कर रहा है, मन कर रहा है, ठीक है. Now come here. Now daily scrum call. How much time? This we are calculating a non-productive hour. Like how much non-productive hour is going. For example, daily you are having a 15 minutes meeting. 15 minutes. For example, in case you have a 30 minutes meeting, please write 30 minutes. Which is wrong, but actually you have to write. We will improve how we can improve to 15 minutes. Grooming, for example, you have a twice in a week. Whatever the day is, you can, and whatever the duration is. For example, your 90 minutes grooming is there, you can exactly do. A sprint planning, for example, it is taking 120 minutes, write 120 minutes. If it's taking 90 minutes, you can take 90 minutes. Review, whatever the time, review and retrospective mostly happens on the last day. Now, if you sum it up, total time is coming around 11.75 hours. That means every single individual has to, every single individual non-productive hour is 11.75 hour for how much for 2 week sprint. That means in 10 days it is going for 11.75. That means for 1 day 11.75 by 10, correct no? जो हम 11.75 by 10 itna hour non-productive. There might be some other meetings which is happening very frequently. You can always add here. This is not about only these meetings. I just took the example. Here, if you see, very easily I took 2 hours. You remember here? Because I wanted to give you rasgulla. I wanted to just kind of make you understand that hey, तो easy से थोड़ा धीरे धीरे जाते हैं, but actual time is this. Correct? Making sense? And this, that means 11.75 is non-productive hour. And this non-productive hour for every single team member. Omkar is also, Omkar non-productive hour will be 11.75 hour. Prasanna non-productive hour will be 11.7. Mirali non-productive hour will be 11.75 hours. Sohail, Sajis, Rasik, Ashwin. Correct? Making sense? Now, ये अभी हमने क्या किया? One more thing we added like percentage allocation, and we have come up with the ceremony time. This is a non-productive hour. Now, how to calculate? Very high concentration here. Let me copy and paste these great names, talented names. Let me just go here and copy and paste it. Now go to the calculate part here. This person was not in a team, remove it. Now these people are there. Try to understand. Dipali, Barsha. Now guys, what you are doing, please, very high concentration here for 10 minutes. Here I am calculating 8 hours. Why? 1 hour break already I have counted. That's why I am counting 1 hour break. I have already counted. ये सबको हटा देने दो. First philosophy, second philosophy. This is a sheet of the last batch. हाँ. Okay, now clean and neat. Now, total 9 hour was there. 1 hour break time already you have counted here. Correct? 1 hour break time. 8 hour now we are left with. Allocation part. I will just kind of drag and drop whatever the allocation you have given. Where is the allocation part? I'll go to the definition, and this is the allocation you have given for the same team members. Correct? I'll go here, calculate part here, very high concentration, and I will just give the allocation part here. Clear? Allocation part I have adjusted. Now, Dipali, Barsha and Kalpa, obviously, even they are available. 5-7 sprint started, 7th of May. 5, 8, 5, 9, 12, 13, 14. There are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 working days. These three are POBASM, so their capacity will be counted as a 0 because they are not contributing. Correct. Now Omkar 50%, 8 hour, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Now let's assume that Omkar here also it should be 4. Let's write it 4. Now Prasanna allocation was 0%. You remember Prasanna allocation what we gave? Why? Because Prasanna was just 15 days back she joined, so it will be 0, 0, 0. Mirali 100%, 8, 8, 8. Sohel allocation is 80%, so 6.4, 6.4. Here also let me write 6.4 hour per day, 6.4 hour here, 6.4 hour per day. Now Sajis 8 into 80, 8 into 80, so it will be around the same 6.44444. Control C, Control V. Now Rasik 50%, 444. Ashwin 100%, same thing. I can 888 and I can drag and drop 888. Correct. This is what is available for the team. Now there might be a plan. So far what we have done, we have only excluded the break time. Correct. And we have excluded POBASM. So break time we have excluded and we have excluded POBASM. Now planned leaves we have to adjust. Planned leaves or if any mandatory holidays. Same thing I'm doing in a different way. For example, Prasanna is a leave. Prasanna is a leave of 2 days, 4 days, doesn't matter, she is new. But for example, Prasanna is a leave for these 2 days. So 0, 0 or it doesn't matter. Now let's take for example, Sajis is leave for the last 2 days. Here also Sajis is a leave and here also Sajis is a leave. So obviously 0, 0 I'll do. For example, Rasik is on leave for here and here. I'm just giving the different example. Ashwin, for example, is a leave for first 3 days. Can happen? Happen? Now I have taken different leaves for different. How will you get these leaves? If you go with the plan leave tracker, correct? Already leave tracker will be there, Confluence page, and you'll go and update it. Now what will happen? This is a total sum of everyone capacity. See, Omkar 40 hour, 10 hour. This person, Prasanna 0, this person 80 hour, this person 64 hour, this person 51 hour. Sum, all 10 days. What will happen? Now we have adjusted plan leave. Mandatory holidays, I'm counting that there is no mandatory holidays. What will happen? You have calculated and then now what happened? Total number of hour came. But so far still we have not excluded, till here, till T column, you have not excluded the non-productive hours. Correct? No? Only you have excluded the break time. Non-productive hour you have not excluded. What is non-productive hour? 11.75. This is a non-productive hour. Correct? Now if you go here, exclude it. 11.7. Here doesn't make any sense because this person is not contributing 11.75. Here also 11.75. What will happen? This is total productive hour. This was the total hours. This was total hour excluding only breakout time. Excluding only breakout time, excluding POBASM and plan leaves mandatory holidays. But out of total hours, if I'll remove total non-productive hours, that will be total hours. Correct? 40 minus 11.7, 28.5, 80 minus 11.75, this. And then if I calculate the focus factor, 80%, 28.25 to 80%, 22.6. This is what it came. That means this is 202.16. And now if I sum up it, this is the final capacity of the team. What do you discuss, guys? What do you discuss? Try to understand. How do you calculate the capacity? We'll have a team members. Correct? Here we are going one step further, percentage allocation. Why I was not going percentage allocation here? Because this then you will not be able to understand. This will make very complicated. Correct? No? So what I did here, first what we did, that we go here, all the team members, percentage allocation we counted. And after percentage allocation, accordingly, we have given all those hours every day. We adjusted plan leaves, mandatory holidays, total hours came. We excluded the non-productive hours to find total productive hours. But again, we counted focus factor of 80%. Why? Focus factor, if the two, for counting unplanned leave, sick leave, uncertainty, complexity, risk, and then this is the individual capacity of every single team member. And then when you sum it up, this is a total capacity key for the team member. Every single thing is counted, not counted. Now, you might have one doubt. Here is one. 11.75 we are counting for everyone. You remember ceremony time. But there are few people in the team no who is having only 50% allocation. This person might not be available for all the meeting. This person might not be correct. No, this person is a 2-day lead. How come they attend? Guys, this is your call as a scrum master. If you see that you have to count in the same proportion percentage, please go ahead and do this. Or if you see that hey, you can count, for example, what if okay, this person is available 50% time, but what if he is attending all the meeting? Then obviously 11.75 should go here. Correct, no? So it's a personal call based on the team. If you want to count in a proportion term, you can count in a proportion term. If you want to count in exactly whatever it is coming, exactly you can count. That is your decision. But this is how we calculate now. This is what will be the unit of this capacity? What will be the unit of this capacity? First.
Man hours.
Man hours.
Man
Hours. Hours.
Man hours, no?
Man hours.
There are a lot of mans and all the hours, so man hours. Women, sorry for that. It is not women hours. You have to fight for your right. We are still living in patriarchal society. I'm really sorry for this, but yes, it can be women. Nowadays, they come out person hours. At least this is more justified. Women भी अच्छा feel होगा, man को भी अच्छा feel होगा. But unit is unit, so you need to tell like this. Clear? Any question so far here? You don't go with this slide. 17 and 18 line, those go I have not thought. So far, calculating the capacity, any doubt, please raise your hand. Yeah, Rinkish.
Rizwan, so this data which have all these numbers, do we need to present this data to the business also?
No,
Because
business doesn't need business. See, business how it happens. No, business is like, for example, any epic game. Any epic, for example, that epic have lot of work, right? Lot of stories. For example, this is 200 story point of work. Business will ask, hey, when you will be able to deliver. You, for example, your average velocity is 40 story point. So obviously, will take 5 sprint to deliver. Correct.
Correct.
So you will calculate, hey, 5 sprint when 5 sprint is ending. For example, 5 sprint from today, it is ending by July 20th. So what you will do that, hey, we'll be able to complete by July 28th. So what will be the immediate release after July 20th? For example, August release is an immediate release. So you can say we'll be able to deliver by August. And so you have to do all the exercise that, hey, this much story point of work on a high level, it is there. This is my average velocity. So based on this, you can kind of give them a timeline. Correct, no?
Okay.
So they will ask for a timeline. You're getting my point?
Yeah.
What I'm talking?
Okay.
Yes, very good question. Anyone else? Yeah, Sudarshan sir.
Here is one. One thing is we planned something for some developer, but due to some personal reason, he is not able to contribute 100%. Might be out of 6 hours, he is able to contribute to 4 to 5 hours.
Correct.
That's
so if that is there, focus factor is there, no? Actual capacity for the team is this. This is the actual capacity. This, if you sum it up, let me do this. This is the actual capacity. Just Control C and Control V. This is the actual capacity of the team. Correct, no? This buffer 252. This is for this kind of nature. Someone is not able to contribute. But still, if you feel like that, hey, this buffer is not enough, you can again discuss with your dev lead, QA lead, and if you see the risk of delivering the work, you can always reach out to resource manager, delivery manager, and ask for additional resource. You are getting my point?
Yes.
But before going to resource and delivery manager, make sure your dev and QA lead is aligned. Otherwise, they are like, hey, no, we will be able to complete the work, and you are going everywhere and telling, hey, we need resource. Then you will be sounding like a bad one. You are getting my point?
Yes.
Yeah. Mukesh sir.
One more question.
Yeah, Sudarshan.
If any developer means put the paper in between the sprint or in between the project, so how to accommodate
no,
that?
If they put the paper, that doesn't mean that from tomorrow they are not going to work.
There will be some time.
That's why company gives the notice period. So they have to work. There is no other way they don't work. If they are not working, for example, after putting the paper, they are behaving wrong way, they are not attending the call, they are not, you raise the risk to his manager that, hey, this is the situation I am in, because that is not your fault, no, Sudarshan. And slowly you have to count the gap. For example, if my company has a 3-month notice period, I know Sudarshan is one part of my team member, and Sudarshan has resigned. So what I'll do, I know that the first month Sudarshan still will do work, but last 2 months Sudarshan will kind of start bunking. So accordingly, I will reduce his allocation. Allocation है ना इधर allocation.
Yes,
Here
yes.
you can reduce the allocation. Yes.
That is one. Suppose he left after means after that, if we got one more resources, but that will take time for the new resource
No,
to
they will give
get
they will
proper.
give the experienced resources also. No, it's
Okay.
not like they will give. See,
Always the new one.
delivery managers, a resource manager, they know they keep some buffer always. That there might be some critical project. So
Yes.
if new resources will do, then again it will not serve your purpose. No, you ask for a
Experienced
experienced
who can
resource.
cope up
Correct.
early.
But you can only ask if you go with all those data.
Yes.
ऐसे जाके मुंह उठा के बोलोगे कोई नहीं देने वाला.
True, true.
Yes. So data speaks. Clear, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mukesh.
So when we have taken focus factor as 80%, sometimes it may happen that the utilization might be at 90% or 95%. So which means the work done can
Utilization
be
will
done
do
maybe
for
one
this.
day.
Utilization will do for this, not for this. Utilization will do for this capacity, not for this capacity. After counting the focus factor. Are you getting my
Right.
point?
So if the utilization goes beyond 100%, let's say,
You don't have to take, no. Utilization, why it is going beyond the 100%? You should not take. You should, that's why utilization is coming into the picture. You should not take, and I'll come to the utilization part after a few minutes. Utilization, you should not even take more than 80 to 85%. I'll come to this just to be on the safer side. It's all about the
all
safer
right.
side. Clear? It should not go.
Yes.
Yeah. Hanspal?
This one, for example, everything is work is going as per the calendar what we make it, but we have some buffers. Time is there. Or what we are using for that buffer, where we
Buffer we discussed, no? Buffer, what is the purpose of buffer? Here it was there, no? The buffer is for
yes, but nobody
unplanned.
taking leaves. No, there is
No, it's
nothing is there.
okay.
No unplanned and
See, first, they will not, that situation will not come if they are kind of, no one is taking and everything is going as smooth, then you can ask for additional work for team to do, no?
okay,
They
so
can
we
take
can ask.
additional,
Okay,
yes,
fine.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah.
Now, guys, very high concentration here. From here, very high concentration. Everyone, let me see. Everyone is on video, not on video. You guys are looking great or not looking great. Fast. Everyone is looking great. Ishita, Kalpa is there. Kalpa, you there? Rachna, Mirali, Minakshi, fast. Everyone is looking great. Now. Here. Now, what happens? Now, very important thing. This is 2020 man hours or a person hour. This is the available capacity. What you guys have to do first thing, everyone has to, I'll share the sheet just after the class. Everyone has to prepare their own capacity. So you will not do this part. This is just for the explanation. From definition to ceremony time to calculate and leave tracker. These four sheet you have to prepare. Same team member will not be there. You can reduce team member, you can increase team members, you can keep any person in the team, and you can exactly with the valid reason you can distribute the percentage allocation, and everyone has to come up with their capacity sheet here, how much your capacity is coming, and this assignment has to be submitted today by end of the day, not tomorrow morning also. I'll take any 5 names once the class will start. This is my call, and that person has to share his screen and show me how did he calculate the capacity. Clear? Done? Understood? You can make 12 team members, 9 team members, and if I'll see the 2 copies are same, that means you are a cheater. Copies should not be same, both should be different. We are learning now guys, what happened, lot of companies, this is what we have come here. Lot of companies, what they do, they assume one story point is equal to 8 hours. Lot of companies entry pattern, I told you, a story point has nothing to do with hours, you remember? So what they do, one story point is 88202 by 8. What is the x16 by 8? They divide, and they are like, hey, this is what how much work you should take. Some company, this company, for example, this is a company called Cognizant. Cognizant को क्या बोलते? CG बोलते, correct? Now this company will take 25.27, that means 25 story point of work. Another company, for example, CGI, this is another company, they are calculating one story point is equal to 6 hours. वो कितना लेंगे? 2026 by 6, 20 यहीं से कर लो, 202.6 by 6. These people will leak 33 story point. Let's go to the not in decimal, 34. Some company I have seen they are like one story point equal to 4 hour. मतलब अलग अलग यहाँ पे क्रिएचर है, मतलब they are awesome. What happen? They will take like 4 and they go by 50. Correct? Now. This is one way. I'm just asking you practically that, hey, for example, this company, if you want a story point equal to 4 hours, they're assuming they might be giving more story point to the same work because they will be calculating in terms of percentage. Correct? There's nothing wrong in it. Now, I will logically asking. For example, this is a sprint 6 planning. Listen very carefully. This is a sprint 6 planning. Now, a sprint 6, and this is a sprint 1 to 5 data. Let me go here and let me take here. Let's take this data. सुनना अच्छे से. Now, this is the sprint 5. A sprint 6, you have to do the planning. This is one way. And one way is that, hey, this is what your team has already delivered. Take the average. Average is coming around 40. Correct? This is one way. Very high concentration. Another way is this is the capacity came divided by, for example, you are taking one story point equal to 6 hour or 8 hour and directly take this much 25. Logically, don't think like this is right or wrong. Logically, tell me what is sounding more practical. Just tell me. By going by the previous data of the same team member, what they have delivered and taking that much work, or dividing directly by 8 and taking this much work. Which is sounding more practical? Tell me. Logically.
By looking at the data of the previous
View of the data,
That's why.
historical data.
That's why I keep telling, whenever you're planning the work, you should go by the average velocity. This is next level bullshit. Let's talk logically, let's talk practically. This is what we need to do. This is what 40 story point, and once, so we should be taking 40 story point of work, and once you have taken the 40 story point of work, every single team member will have their individual capacity. This person will have 22.6 hours, this person. Then by creating the subtask, I'll discuss more in detail how to create the subtask and utilize the individual capacity. You will be utilizing every single individual capacity. That means this is wrong. We should not do this, and we have understood also that a story point has nothing to do with the man hours. We have understood. Logically, it is sounding great. I have told you also, but Rizwan, one more thing. You are going fast. Let me catch you, Rizwan. Let's go here again. Same thing. You are fooling us. Let me catch you. Now, come here. This is the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, 5. And let's take the capacity of this team, because every sprint will have a capacity also. For example, the team, I'm just assuming this team capacity is, for example, 250 hours. Capacity will always be in man hours, and this will be a story point. For example, this team capacity is 240 hours. This third sprint, the same team capacity is 230 hours. For example, 250 hours. For example, 245 hours. I'm just taking any numbers. 245 hours, and for example, this is again 240 hours. For example, this is the team capacity. Rizwan, what if there is Diwali vacation or the Shahra vacation, or what is the biggest festival in South people? Kalpa, what is the biggest?
Dasara, Deepavali.
Ugadi. Someone was telling.
Sankranti.
I have to tell all the festival. Okay. Now, for example, what if there is Diwali, Dasara, and Ugadi festival? A lot of people are on leave. Still, Rizwan, if you have to plan and all this festival are coming in the 6th sprint duration. 6 sprint. Still, Rizwan, you are telling you will go by the average velocity and will be taking the work. Now, if I go by the average velocity, how much work I have to take? 40. But there are a lot of people on leave. Is it right?
No.
No,
Capacity will
no.
be less.
But how should we find the capacity in this case? But the problem is, Rizwan, 40 we can't take if the Sara Diwali vacation is there, and we take the work based on the average velocity, correct? Like then, Rizwan, how should we decide? Very high concentration. How should we decide how many story point of work we should take in? How should we decide that how many story point of work we should take in a sprint 6? Anyone?
We can
Chalo,
use
if we
unit
can't do
mathematics.
Achievable. What can we achieve? The available.
Okay.
We can compare maybe with the previous sprint and the capacity delivered, whatever is there, with the average velocity and calculate the capacity.
Answer for this is unit mathematics. Unit mathematics you guys learn in 6th class. Price of, chalo, let me ask this. Who is my favorite? Who is my favorite? No one is on video. How can I choose my favorite? Mirali? Mirali is there? Anushri? Chalo. Rakesh. Price of Rakesh is Rakesh, price of 5 apple is 40 rupees. What will be the price of 8 apple?
5 times of 8.
Price of 5 apple is 40 rupees. What will be the price of 8 apple?
Okay, 40 divided by 5 and 8 into this.
Kitna? How much price?
64.
64.
Can you clap for Rakesh, guys? Rakesh got disturbed. What? Okay, love. Guys, what you discussed that, hey, price of 5 apple. This is apple and that was a price. Price of 5 apple is 40 rupees. So 1 apple is what you did? We did 40 by 5. That came around 8 rupees.
8.
And then you have to calculate the price of 8 apple. What you did? 8 into 8 you did, correct? And this came around 64. This is what you do. Same way. If the people are on leave, what if there is a Diwali and Dashara vacation or Yugadi and people are leave? Obviously capacity will be gone down because they will giving their plan leave. Now, for example, capacity has gone down to 150. Can go down. Lot of people on leave. Then what will you do? See, average velocity was 40 and average capacity for the last 5 sprint was around 240. So here, when average capacity you will make it and average velocity will make it. Very high concentration. Average capacity was 245. Like I take the average of 245 here. 245 is coming here, 245. And average velocity was 40. I'll take the average of last 5, 40. Here, 40. Now, if average capacity will be 1, velocity will be what you did? Divide 40 by 245. Correct? 40 by 2. This came around it, na? Now, if capacity is 150, how much work we should take? Into 150, like exactly what we did. That means team should plan 24.48. That means team should plan for the 6th sprint. 6th sprint, not this. Team should plan for a 6th sprint, 24 story point of work. How many of you understood? Apple ka price se? You understood? Guys, again repeating. What if there is a Diwali Dashara vacation? Obviously, your capacity will go down. Here, in this case, you need to use the unit mathematics. How do you need mathematics? Hey, when the capacity was from a last 5 sprint, when the capacity was 245 coming. Last 5 sprint capacity is coming how much? Here.
240.
Capacity is coming 245. And average velocity delivered a story point, that means average velocity is 40. So on 245 capacity, average velocity is 45. 1 capacity, average velocity is 45 by 40 by this much. And then 150 this. Exactly same we are going to do. That means you should be taking not 40, we should be taking 24 story point of work. Correct, no? But in which case? once this kind of situation come. If there is a fluctuation for 10 to 20 man hours, then it's completely fine. You can directly go and take the average of this. Making sense? Now, no. Rizwan, stop here. There might be a case, Rizwan. There might be a case where some important projects are going on, some important or critical deliveries are there, and they have added resource. They can add resource in any of the sprint. They are adding 5 more resources because you have to. They're adding 5 more resources. Can happen. For example, everything business want to deliver as part of the next release. 5 more resources they are adding. Now, in this case, what will happen? Let's take the same example. Now, this is the what they are doing. 6 sprints, suddenly what happened? Because 5 more resources they have added, your capacity gone to 400 hours. It can happen. Why? Because 5 more resources got added. I'm just taking the example 4. Now, still you should be taking average? No. Unit mathematics. And how the unit mathematics will go? We'll just copy here. Control C, Control B, and what we'll do? When 245 was there, then average velocity was 40. When 1 was there, and now it will be 400. And the moment we'll do 400 here, you're coming 65. That means you should be taking 65 story points of work. Yes or no? So when does unit mathematics comes in the picture? Every single situation I am discussing scenario based questions. Every single point I'm discussing that, hey, first what you discuss very high concentration that, hey, this is the capacity, whatever come, it will, the unit will be man hours. And this capacity is a sum of individual capacity of every single resource. And whatever the individual capacity comes, those individual capacity is to, why this individual capacity is needed? To utilize their on the resource individual capacity by end of the sprint. And this purpose is only once you take the work in a sprint backlog, you need to utilize the individual capacity. This is wrong. This is next level wrong. But companies does that. Yes, company does that, which is wrong. Ideally, we learn that, hey, instead of going by 1 story point equal to 8 hours, 6 hours and taking this much work, this makes more sense because the previously they have delivered this. Yes or no? We learn this. Second, what we learn, if there is a Diwali, Dashara vacation, Ugadi, you will have to don't go by the average velocity, you have to use the unit mathematics. And if there is any resources increase and decrease, you have to go by the unit mathematics. There might be another case. सुनते रहो, ये सब पूरा प्रैक्टिकल है. There might be another case. एक्सपर्ट बना के भेजने वाला हूं मैं, बस just listen. You go to the interview, will be thankful to me. ये इधर ही मिलता और कहीं नहीं मिलता. Now, sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is a delivered story point 40, 38, 40, 40, 40. Now let's take the example of 6 sprint. 6 sprint your team only delivered 7 story point of work. Can happen. And what was the reason? Environment was down.
Effects.
Environment were down. Applications were not working. Can happen sometime in the company.
Yes.
Now 7th sprint you have to plan how much work you should be taking. Now the foolish guy what will do, वो रट लिया कि रिजवान ने क्या बोला 5 स्प्रिंट का एवरेज लेना. वो क्या करेगा, अब ये 5 स्प्रिंट का एवरेज ले लेगा. लास्ट 5 स्प्रिंट कौन सा है, ये 1, 2, 3. अब ये एवरेज कितना आ रहा है 33. दिस इज अ जॉब ऑफ अ फुलिश गाई. अब जो थोड़ा सा क्लेवर होगा, जो रिजवान के क्लास को सही में माइंड के साथ बैठा हुआ, ही इज नॉट ओनली प्रेजेंट, ही इज प्रेजेंट विद हिज माइंड. वो क्या करेगा कि रिजवान ने ये भी बताया था कि ये अगर वंस अपॉन अ टाइम सिनेरियो है जो कुछ अलग रीजन की वजह से आया था, वी शुड नॉट बी काउंटिंग इन द एवरेज वेलोसिटी. स्टिल विल गो, यू विल काउंट दिस वन and will be taking 40 story points. So if there is some odd one out and directly it is going jumping down or something kind of, and this is once in a blue moon situation, please don't count in average velocity. Go with this. Making sense? Otherwise, that will, this odd one out will disturb your that will decrease your average velocity. Making sense? So can I say here with loud and clear, with your permission, guys, whenever there is increase, there is a what is the right term? When the velocity suddenly go up and suddenly go down, what is the right term? Whenever there is a spike, it can be a spike upper or down. Whenever there is a spike, we should use unit mathematics to calculate average velocity. And we understand two examples. One was a Diwali or a Ugadi, and one was adding a resource example. Yes or no? Correct, no? Sajish, correct, no? Sajish, correct? Sajish, you are on mute,
Yes.
sir. Yes. So these scenarios you should know, and accordingly you should
Am I
act
audible?
on. Yes, you are audible. So this scenario you should know, and exactly we should work on. A story point has nothing to do with man hours. I've already validated it, and this is what you need to do. But in the real world, what happened? They directly, oh, इतना आया, इतना divide कर दिया, ये करते ही नहीं. You have to speak this language if you want to crack the interviews. Making sense? Making sense? Any doubt so far? First, doubt. Come up with doubt. नहीं भी आ रहा है, doubt create करो.
Yes, Rizwan, I have. So
please.
we know the public holidays like May 1st is coming. While planning for the product backlog, can't we means estimate on that time on May there is May 1st and near that people will take the leave. So and we'll
you have
work.
to forecast. You have to forecast.
Yes.
You have
We'll
to forecast.
assign some less
See,
tasks for that
guys,
particular sprint.
there was one person asking. I think Jay or someone was asking. I explained here also. For example, what happens in a real world? I'll tell you. Any epic will come. Business doesn't know that hey, how many sprint will take and all this. They directly ask, hey, the epic came, and they'll directly ask to a Scrum Master or PO when you will deliver the work. In the starting only. When will you deliver the work? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Once this question will come to a Scrum Master and PO, a Scrum Master and PO can only say based on the average velocity. Correct, no? Now your average velocity, if you don't know, and whenever you're calculating the average velocity, someone was asking also like, hey, can you calculate the capacity for the next 2 or 3 sprint in advance just to forecast in a better way? Meenakshi was asking. You should, if you have for the next 5 or 6 sprint on an average, not exactly random. For example, average velocity is around 40. And this epic, for example, this epic is around 200 story point of work. There are multiple stories. For example, 40 stories are there, 200. And your average velocity, if you have idea that, hey, it is going to be 40 story point of work, what will do? You know that, hey, it will take 5 sprint. And to be on the safer side, you can take 1 sprint buffer. If any issue will come. Now, 6 sprint के बाद आप बोलोगे कि hey, we will be able to deliver by this, and we'll have a logic also. Hey, on what basis you are telling? Once you'll have the average velocity, are you getting Sudarshan?
Yes.
And in between, if any risk, for example, in between what happened? Business increase the scope to 200, 220 story point. 50 story point of scope got increases. Can happen because what happened? PO and BA will keep getting the requirement for those epics. So, for example, scope. Now you have committed 5 or 6 sprint basis on this story point. The moment the scope will get added, उसी time आप business का दरवाजा खटखटाओगे. You will knock the door of the business. Open the door, open the door, open the door. They will open the door. They will say, hey, initial was 200. Now you are coming 50. Now I will not be able to deliver. I will need at least 1 sprint or 2 sprint. अब कोई लोग दरवाजा क्यों खटखटाए? Why to knock the door? Let me sleep and let them sleep, and then वो आएगा. फिर आपके पास वो 6 sprint के बाद आएगा, नॉक करेगा. वो आपका डोर नॉक करेगा. Hey, Why are you not able to deliver 50? Then you'll tell, hey, you increase. Why didn't you inform earlier? The moment you will see any scope addition, you have to just go and knock the door. Knock the door means, guys, schedule a call, let them know. Clear? सोना नहीं है. Sleeping on the issue is dangerous. Dangerous. And that is done by preposterous Scrum Masters. I was listening one blog yesterday. So there was a term used, preposterous, that means nonsensical. Sasi Tharoor, what I am writing, nonsensical Scrum Masters. What I am trying to tell is, sleeping on the issue is dangerous, and that is done by preposterous Scrum Master, जो nonsense. जब भी कुछ issue आए, our job is to tell everyone, this is what you are facing. Making sense? So ये रट लो. Sleeping on the issue is dangerous, and that is done by preposterous Scrum Masters. Clear? Clear? Yeah,
Yes.
Meenakshi.
So I have a question. It may be a very stupid question, sorry.
Please
So,
ask silly questions. I like silly questions. Yes.
So, some companies or convert story points into hours. So, for example, they convert one story point is equal to 6.5 man hours, and they already subtract the hours for the ceremonies and the meetings or the spare hours, the break and all. And again, while planning the capacity, also we are, taking the subtracting the breaks and the ceremonies.
No. Why? They are just giving one story point. It will take 6.5 hours. Why they will subtract there? If, for example, they are giving one story point equal to 6.5 hours, that means they are telling that, hey, here this will get divided by 6.5, and then 202 by 6.5 will come some hour. For example, 202 by 6.5, it will come around 31 story point. That means they will tell that, hey, start working on that means this is your total number of available hours, and if one story point they have calculated 31, that means you have to do in this sprint 31 story point of work. But this itself is wrong. Please don't speak that language. In a story point estimation class also I told that, hey, we don't have to speak that language. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Whenever they give the estimation, they don't count, to answer your question, non-productive hours and all this. Non-productive hour and all this comes into capacity. Estimation always given by these things, guys. Estimation, I don't know why you are mixing. Estimation is given by based on the complexity, risk, unknowns and dependencies. Capacities, कितना time है अपने पास? कितना time अपने पास है? How much time team have? How much productive time team have? Both are different. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah. Next, who is next? Meenakshi, you can lower your hand. Akansha.
I just want to confirm one thing, that if the BA is having the responsibility of gathering the requirements and writing the story, but if he is not doing work properly, or he said that I need some more time to write the story, should the Scrum Master facilitate that, mitigate that risk, or it should be product owner?
Obviously, guys, in the last class I told the concept of average velocity, Akansha. If you see that, hey, at BA job is what? For example, there is a current sprint. There is a sprint 1, and the duration of a sprint 1 is कब से start किया था? 7th of May to 20th of May, correct?
Right.
7th of May to 20th of May. So this sprint, whatever the BA will be, he will be getting the requirement for the next sprint, which is going to start from 21st of May, correct?
Right.
And he has to make sure that minimum, for example, your average velocity is 40 story point. They have to make sure that, hey, at least minimum 40 story point of work is groomed. But to be on the safer side, they have to make sure at least 80 story point of work into groomed, 2 into average velocity.
Right.
If they will target 80, even they will slip, they will be having groomed more than 40 story point.
Right.
If you see any risk that, hey, 40 story point of works are not groomed, that means you will be at risk of your capacity utilization in the next sprint, because you have to take 40.
Definitely.
Then and there you have to raise the risk you need to kind of mitigate, like, hey, if the BA is not skillful, can you arrange some other BA who can do? For example, no, there might be like a business, from a business side there is a requirement delay, so you can raise the risk to the business that, hey, if requirement delay is happening from your time, so our commitment will also get delay. Or for example, you see the works are not ready, you can reach out to some other team if they have already ready work, their BA groom with our team. So depends on the scenarios, what scenarios you are in and what action you have to explore all the options.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because in one of my epic delivery, we come up with the business come up with the requirement that we have to complete in 2 months. But till the end of sprint planning, the requirements are getting groomed, and we got final sign off from the PO before the start of the planning of sprint planning. So in such scenarios come where we have the Figma approvals and all, and in that case, we plan the capacity in hurry and then we deliver the work that is not a quality
See,
work.
first capacity has nothing to do with how much ready and how much not ready. Correct? No. A story point estimation in a product backlog, there can be hundreds of items in a product. BA has to go and gather those requirements, irrespective of what is the team velocity and capacity. If team velocity is 40 story point, at least 40 story point of work should be groomed, minimum. But if you come up with the concept of backlog health, then at least 80 story point of work should be groomed at any given point of time. If you have that much groomed, you have to take how much? 40 story point. You can take no.
Yeah.
But if you see the 40 story point also getting groomed is a risk because of various reasons. You need to figure out the reason and you need to kind of mitigate based on this. What is the reason?
Yeah, because we have to utilize the capacity of resource.
Correct, 100%. I wrote somewhere, no, you have to, as a Scrum Master, our job is to utilize the individual capacity of the team.
Okay.
Making sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? I think someone else was raising a hand. Okay. Okay. Now. So far we are clear. Now, few questions I will discuss. Few questions here, guys, I will discuss, and the remaining question will discuss next class. What is capacity? Is there any correlation if complete new team is given? Till question number 6 we'll discuss right away in the next half an hour. Remaining question we'll discuss tomorrow. Is that okay? Now, question number 1. What is capacity? How do you calculate capacity of your team? I've already given the answer that, hey, capacity is the total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team. How do you calculate the capacity of your team? Listen my answer. First, we will have a team members. Based on this, don't confuse them with the accountabilities and all this. First, you will have the team members. How do you calculate capacity of the team? Here. First, you will have a team members. You exclude PO, BA, SM during the capacity calculation, and then you will have a total number of available days. If there is any planned leaves or any mandatory holidays, you will adjust in total number of available days, and then you will count total productive hours by excluding non-productive hours and break time from a total hours. And once that will get done, we multiply total number of available hour in a day into total number of available days into number of productive hours. Whatever it will come, that will be individual capacity of the team members, and then sum it up. This will be total capacity, but still you have not counted unplanned leave and sick leave. So you take the focus factor of 80%. Whatever it will come, that will be the final capacity of your team. Can you tell this? Question number 1, we are clear? Done? Done. Question number 2. What is velocity? Who will answer this? Question number 2, I have already given the answer. Who would love to answer? Raise your hand if you have to answer in an interview. Question number 2. Who will answer? Fast, participate. How will you answer in the interview? I'll go with the first come, first service. Rahul has raised his hand first. Rahul, what is velocity? How do you calculate velocity of your team?
So velocity is rate of user story points that we are delivering in a sprint. We calculate it by taking the average of last 5 sprints usually. But in case we don't have 5 sprints completed, we will take 3 or 4 sprints. In case we have say any holidays in between, we will take unit mathematics in place, and then based on the average velocity and the available capacity, we will calculate the velocity for the next sprint.
Okay. Saranya, would you like to answer?
Sure, Rizwan, sir. So, velocity is the rate or pace in which you are delivering the story points for that particular sprint. So, how do you calculate the velocity? Is the average of the previous 5 sprints usually, and if there are no 5 sprints, then at least ideal is like at least 3 to 4 sprints, and it is not the committed SP and it is the delivered SP that we have to calculate for the velocity planning for the team for that particular sprint.
The problem with both of them is I am not happy. कितनी बार चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोल रहा हूं भैया 2D to 3D में क्या जा रहा, कहां हो, इधर ही हैं हम.
Okay.
If I have to answer, listen, what is velocity? Velocity is one of the matrix which shows how many story point of work you can deliver in any of the sprint, or it is a rate or a pace at which your team is delivering a story point every single sprint. The unit of velocity is a story point. For example, my team delivered 50 story point of work in first sprint, 48 story point of work in second sprint, 52 story point of work in third sprint, 50 story point of work in fourth sprint, and 50 story point of work in fifth sprint. If I'll have to calculate how much work I should plan in the sprint 6, I will take the average. Average will come around 50. So we'll be taking 50 story point of work. Shut your mouth. Next, if they will tell. Next question, wait for a next question. Hey, what if there is Diwali vacation or there is your capacity going down? Then again you will take the average. Then unit mathematics. ज़्यादा नहीं देना. इधर अच्छा बोलना. Are you getting my point? राहुल?
Yes, yes. Got it.
ओवर नहीं करना. ओवर बता रहा हूं तो ओवर मत कर दो उधर. उतना ही वोमिट करना है जितने से अच्छा लगे, हेल्थ अच्छा हो.
Okay.
Clear? Is there any correlation between capacity and velocity? Who will answer this? Is there any correlation between capacity and velocity? Who will answer this? चलो, question number 3. Let pending करते हैं. I'll clear in the next class. Question number 4. I'll clear in the next class. Now, question number 5. I'll clear in the next class. Let's go. This is a very important question. How many scrum teams are handling and all this? Very high concentration. Question number 6. Question 1 and 2 I have clear. Tomorrow we are going to discuss only questions, nothing else. Now, question number 6. How many scrum? You guys remember? I have told no. The moment you will say your introduction, what will happen? First question will come. How many scrum teams are handling? What are the project you have done? Project part you have already discussed. What can be the question of the project? Correct? We have discussed. Correct? Now, how many scrum teams are handling? You have to say 2 teams minimum. 2 teams here. How many scrum teams are handling? 2 scrum teams. What are the second question? What is the capacity and velocity for both the teams? Listen very carefully here. What is the capacity and velocity of both the team? Let's calculate. Second, what is the how many scrum teams are handling? 2 scrum team. Second question can be this is the third line of question. Second line of question can be here. Second line of question can be what are the team size? Like what are the team size? Who are the developers and tester? So what you have to say? Team 1, how many members? 10 members. One scrum master.
One product owner.
One scrum master.
Myself.
Myself. ये भूल जाओगे, बोल दोगे दूसरा scrum. One scrum master, myself. Product owner.
BA.
One BA. 4 developers.
4 developers.
And
Yes,
3
3
testers. No. इधर आते हैं. Team 2. How many members you have to say?
9.
9. If you are able to increase and decrease, it is your completely fine. There is no problem. 3 developers, 3 testers. Correct? Now they will ask you what is the capacity and velocity of the team. Let's calculate the team 1 capacity. अभी मैं 1 सेकंड में कैलकुलेट कर देता आपके सामने. देखो कैसे जादू. Team 1 capacity. Team 1 how many members? 10.
Yeah.
Team 1, 10 members. Now,
Seven.
guys, how will you calculate 10 member capacity? So we can say, hey, we have total 10 members in a team. 10 members in a team, and you can directly copy and paste this. Very high concentration. We have total 10 members in a team. One Scrum Master, myself, one PO, one BA, 4 developers, and 3 testers. Whenever you calculate the capacity, we exclude
Scrum Master,
a Scrum Master, PO, and a BA. So now we are left with
7 members.
7 members. Left with 7 members. No. Now we are left with 7 members. Now 7 members. Now let's assume we have total, or you can say, hey, we in our company, in my company, we have total 9 hours, including break time. So total number of productive hours here. Total number of productive hours, guys. Total number of productive hour will be 9 minus 1 minus 2. You can say 2 hour. I'm just assuming. You can say 2 hour. I'm just assuming as non-productive. So it will come around 6 hours. Now 7 members we have a team. 6 hour per member we have the available productive hour. Correct? No? Total number of productive hours will be 6 hours per day for each individual member. Correct? Can you mute yourself, guys? Who is this?
Rizwan, just a second. Like we have 10 members and we are excluding 3. Okay, 7. Actually, I was confused of 9-member team. So first we are calculating for 10 members.
Correct. Now, guys, please mute yourself. Total number of productive hour will be 9 minus total 6 hours per day for each individual member. So what will be 1 day capacity? What will be total productive hours for 1 day for the team?
42.
Total productive hours per day for a team. How much?
42.
42. 7 into 6, 42. 42 man hours. Now. We have a 2-week sprint. So how many working days?
10 days.
10 working days. So 10 working days. So total capacity is how much? So total productive hours for 10 days?
420.
Total productive hours for complete sprint is 420. 42 into 10. Very high concentration. 42 into 10 is equal to 420 man hours. But still we have not counted. Any planned leaves. Correct?
Yeah.
Still we have not counted any planned leaves. And mandatory holidays. And you have to act like this, hey. In the last sprint, if I remember correctly, 2D to 3D, if I remember correctly, we are having approximate, because ज़्यादा exact number बताने लगोगे तो approximate में खेलो. We are having approximate 5 planned leaves total. So how much? 5 into 6, correct? 30 hours.
30 hours.
That means now total productive hour, excluding planned leaves, is equal to how much? 420 minus 30?
390.
30, 390. Still we have not counted here. Still we have not counted unplanned leaves and
uncertain work
and complexity, uncertainty, जो भी बड़ा सा line है. So to count this, we take focus. So to count this, we take focus factor as
80%.
Focus factor 80%. That means 3 in 90 minus 20%. Minus 20% same हुआ 80% or minus 20%. So 390 minus 78 approximate 80. ऐसे बोल दो approx 80. So is equal to 310 man hours. No. सुनो अच्छे से. जब वो पूछेगा ना इंटरव्यूअर, सुनना अच्छे से. यहाँ पे सारे लोग बिल्कुल साइलेंट। वो पूछेगा ना, हे first question he'll push, hey, how many scrum do you handling to a scrum? Okay, with confidence. Hey, what are the team size? Yeah, first team I have 10 members, second team 9 members. I a scrum master myself, 1 PO, 1 BA, 4 developer, 3 testers. Second team I myself a scrum master, 1 PO, 1 BA, 3 developer, 3 testers. Hey, what is the capacity and velocity for both teams? You will directly ask. Hey, capacity of my first team is 110 directly. See, you are going to go as a scrum master. If you don't remember your own team capacity, and you will start thinking, ऐसे करके मेरा एक्सप्रेशन देखो कितना था कितना, वो समझ जाएगा कि मतलब यू हैव नेवर वर्क। हे, डायरेक्ट 310. नाउ he will self ask, hey, how did you calculate? How? Just give a okay. See, 10 member, we exclude POBASM. Now we are left with 7 member. Total productive hour is 6 hours. I am just taking the example. You see, I am just taking the example. 2 hour non-productive, 1 hour break time, 6 hour, 7 members, 6 hour, 42 man hours, 10 working days, so 40 into 2 into 420 man hours, and still you have not calculated leaves. If I remember, around 5 leaves were there, or I'm just giving you example for the sake of easy. 5 into 6, 30, 420 minus 30, 390 hours, and focus factor you take 80% to count the unplanned leaves or complexity risk unknown. The 390 ka 80% or 390 minus 20%, it will be around 390 minus 80 is equal to 310 hour. He will become your fan. How come this person is able to tell? Trust my word, existing scrum masters are not able to tell. I am giving you remedies. और अभी आपको समझ में आ रहा होगा कि रिजवान ने ये इतना क्यों बताया। अब दूसरे लोग रहेंगे, रिजवान रिजवान आपने तो प्लान्ड लीव ये तो नहीं बोला ना। एलोकेशन भैया, एलोकेशन जब बोलने लगोगे तो तुम ही कैलकुलेट नहीं कर पाओगे, उसको भी कंफ्यूज करोगे। If he will ask second line of question, hey, if just you have to tell now, third line of question from interviewer should have been here. Third line of question can be, hey, but there can be some resource, no, but there can be some resource who will be new, or your dev lead is part of a 2 teams. Dev lead is a part of 2 teams. Anything, how will you handle this? Then हमको ज्ञान देना है किसका? Then what will be the ज्ञान? Percentage allocation. पहले नहीं बोलना. Over knowledge is dangerous. You will caught in your own trap and they will throw you out. They are just finding one reason to throw you out. समझ आ रहा है? Over explanation is dangerous. But say this, and then what you do? If wait for the question. Hey, yes, we have a percentage allocation. And how do you do in the percentage allocation? If they are a part of two teams, so instead of counting, for example, my dev lead is a part of 2 teams, so I'll take 50%. Instead of taking 8 hours a day, I'll take 4 hours, and accordingly we'll go along. Yes or no? Then you have to give all those knowledge. Otherwise, make it simple. When you talk in numbers like this, that makes they become a fan. Hey, this person knows about his team. For example, the first question tha either first question tha, hey, what is capacity? How do you calculate? My suggestion, I gave you the answer. But hey, what is capacity? Hey, capacity is total number of productive hours available to a team. And ask one question. Hey, if you don't mind, can I explain how did I calculate the capacity for my team in the last sprint? Yes or no? Push lo, bolega yes. Hey, my capacity of one of the team was 110 hours, and this is how I calculate. You will make that person your fan and will get shortlisted. अगर नहीं तो theoretical answer जब दोगे, अगर वो बोलेगा नहीं, then obviously whatever the answer I given that hey, we exclude POBASM, we do this. But if you take permission, 90% of the time they will say yes or no. Number 2D to 3D number speaks. This language only can be delivered by the person who is an experienced Scrum Master. Otherwise, no one will be able to tell. And I'm guaranteeing you, even the experienced Scrum Master don't know how to tell. मैंने बोला ना 4 to 5 कैसे दिखाना है, ऐसे दिखाना है. इसलिए मैं बोलता हूँ इधर सुनो. I am a king of my kingdom. Listen to me. You will get every single thing here. समझ आ रहा? Yeah, Saranya.
So, maybe sounds silly because it's been
Please.
a long time I have attended interviews. So while with numbers, when we are saying and we assume and imagine, so can we ask them like, can I open a whiteboard or paper
No,
and show you?
that much don't go, because then every company, if you go to the real world, now for example, you become a Scrum Master. This sheet, the most of the company follow, but sometimes there will be some here and there a small change. But this is the right sheet. So they might see there is a difference between your seat, their seat, and they might start digging deeper. So don't share your seat or something kind of. You tell in this way only. That is more than enough, Sharanya. You got it?
Okay. Okay.
That is more than enough. No one says. Yeah, Amit.
Yeah, Rizwan, I understood that if there is a shared resource, we usually do allocation of like as per the percentage, right? But what in case of if there is a designer who is a consultant and is not part of the Scrum team?
So if he is not a part of a Scrum team, then he will not be a part of a capacity. That means designing is being done outside the Scrum team. We are calculating the capacity inside the Scrum team. So he will not be a part of a capacity, to answer your question.
Okay.
Correct. Now, and guys, there can be, Amit has brought a very good topic. There might be the moment you'll tell, no, hey, we have 10 team members. Hey, they will see, hey, I don't see any designer in your team. Don't you think designer should be there in order to deliver the increment? You say, hey, designer is there, but our team is designed in such a way that designers are outside the Scrum team. Whenever a PO and a BA go and get the requirement, UI UX designer kind of make the prototype using the tool called Figma or any other tool, and they kind of get the approval, and then only grooming done. And after the grooming only you take the stories in S1. That's why designer are outside. You don't have to say we don't have a designer. Designer is needed to deliver the increment, but they are outside. And whom we should count in a capacity calculation? Inside a Scrum team. Those who are actually delivering in 2-week sprint. Yes or no? Making sense? Making sense? Making sense? Now, same thing capacity of team 2. टीम 2 का कैसे करेंगे? यहाँ पे सुनो अच्छे से. इधर टीम 2 का कैसे करेंगे? कंट्रोल सी करेंगे, कंट्रोल भी. वहां मत बोलना कि हम कंट्रोल सी करेंगे, कंट्रोल भी करेंगे. वहां डायरेक्ट ऐसे बोलना. पता लगा वो भी बोल रहे हो. टीम 2 9 members, and either if you come here, total 9 members in a team, you will just one Scrum, 3 developers, 3 tester, and then we are left with 6 members, and 6 members, 6 hour is good. 6 into 6 is equal to 36. Correct me, I might be wrong somewhere. 36 and 10 working days. 36 into 10 is equal to 360 man hours, and 360 man hours if you have 5 days. Why am 5 days? Because the calculation will be easy, simple. 5 days, 360 minus 30 is equal to how much? 330 hour, 330 man hour, not hour, 330 man hour, and still 80%, the 330 minus 20%, around 330 minus approximately 66, or approximately 60. If I approximate 60 we go, it will be around 270 or 260, correct? 260. तो वो पूछेंगे ना, ये रट लो अब, ये memorize this memorize. Kalpa, Mirali, you guys are there, everyone is here. Barsha, you'll have to memorize. What is the team 1 capacity? 330. What is the team 2 capacity?
260.
How did you calculate it? ये इसको एक बार practice कर लेना. समझ आया? समझ आया what I'm trying to say? Yeah, Akansha.
Do we have a concept of shadow resources in this? Like all the resources should be front facing, or we are having the shadow resource as well? Do we follow that practice?
So shadow resource for what?
Let's suppose in my company, the front facing for the tech lead, we have a 4-hour allocation of a tech lead, but that tech lead is aligned in some other project, so they given a shadow resource on behalf of that. They do all the work, but
you just remember one thing. All those fancy word is okay, but only one thing remember: if they are contributing in your work during the sprint, and then they should be counted in the capacity. If they are not contributing, they should not be counted in the capacity.
Now the percentage.
Correct, and accordingly you should be taking the percentage allocation. Correct? No, वो shadow फैडो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Clear?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Fancy word, simple. Those who are contributing, they are a part of our capacity. Those who are not contributing, they are not part of our capacity. Clear? Now. What you have learned? See here. 2 team capacity you have learned here. Team 1, 10 members you learn. Team 2, and both ka capacity. What you have learned so far? Both ka capacity you learn. What you learn here? Can you tell how did you calculate? We already got the answer. How did you calculate? Now, here. What we learned so far? Team 1, 10 members. Capacity, how much?
360.
330.
360.
320. 310.
Sorry.
Correct?
Yes, 310.
It is 310.
310 man. 310 man hour. Team 2,
260.
9 members.
Team 2, 9 members.
260
Who is the Scrum Master of Team 2?
Myself.
Myself. Okay. Team 2 capacity 260 man hour. Correct?
260.
Okay. Now they will ask you the velocity. यहाँ पे ना मैं एक जुगाड़ बताता हूँ. जुगाड़ समझते हो? इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं? What do you say जुगाड़ in English? Remedy.
Work around.
Work around or
Work
remedy?
around.
Okay. Now,
Adjustment.
work around, adjustment, remedy, 3 vocabulary we learn. Now, if you have to calculate the velocity, guys, try to understand. Always what you do indirectly in your mind. I'm just giving a remedy because what they want to hear, you have to let them hear the same thing. You have to get the job. ये अंदर से इसको बोलना नहीं है. You just have to calculate. 310 by 8 is equal to how much? 8 3s are 24. 7 and 8 9s are around 390. So if they'll ask you what is the average velocity for team है, if I remember correctly, it is 39 or 38. ये मत बोलना कि okay, let me divide by 8. No, ये बोलना नहीं है. Otherwise, it will become one story point is equal to 8 hours. What they want to hear, you have to say 39 story point. But they'll ask you, hey, how did you calculate it? सुनो इधर. How did you calculate it? We took the average of
Last 5
last 5 sprints. Why I am giving you this number? No, they want to hear this, but you don't have to say this. We took the average of, guys. Even today, I appear for every month 5 interviews for a Scrum Master just to see what they're asking. So we took average of last 5 sprint and make the story. Hey, a sprint 1, you have to prove how much? 39. A sprint 1, my team delivered 40 story point. A sprint 2, my team delivered 42 story point. A sprint 3, my team delivered around 37. ऐसे करके कुछ ऐसा एवरेज लेके आओ. Now ये 1 ज्यादा है, ये 3 ज्यादा है, ये 2 कम है. Sprint 4, 39, 38 and sprint 5, 39. Something kind of you see in such a way that it looks like that, hey, you actually deliver 39 story point of. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Never admit they say you are divided by 8. No. Are you? This is a remedy I'm giving to face the real world. Second team they will ask, कुछ नहीं करना. And guys, whenever you talk in odd numbers, no, that looks more genuine. 39 will always look more genuine than any average figure 40, 50, 60 you are telling. 2D2, 3D. And if you go to the team 2, कुछ नहीं करना है, इसको control V and 260 by 8, how much? 33 story point, whatever it is coming. How did you calculate? यहाँ पे ऐसा ले लो. 35, 31, 33, 34, 32. Correct, no? 34, 32. Any number you take, you have to come up with 5. Are you getting my point? Trust my word. These answers will look so genuine that you will look like you have literally handled the team. You're working as a Scrum Master because you will be talking in numbers. So you remember, hey, what was the capacity of a team? First team 310 man hours, second team 260. How did you calculate it? You are already prepared. How did you calculate? Hey, what was the velocity of the team? 39 story point. First team, if I remember correctly. ऐसे बोले, if I remember correctly. Hey, yeah, 33 story point, if I remember correctly. How did you? We took the average of last 5 years. Making sense. Now I will summarize whatever we learn because I want to complete the class on time, being a obedient teacher. Now, please listen those who were kind of what we discussed today, and then we'll summarize the class, and tomorrow we'll discuss. We discuss here capacity is equal to total number of productive hours available for a Scrum team, man hours. We exclude SMPO, BA, SA. Velocity is a rate or pace at which you are delivering a story point every sprint. Whenever you are answering velocity, we'll have to take the numbers and we'll have to, hey, how much work your team will be delivering the 6th sprint, and always we take the average of delivered story point. This was the extra I have given you. Committed spillover is equal to committed minus delivered, and commitment reliability percentage is equal to delivered by committed into 100, and commitment reliability will be 100% if the spillover will be 0. Commitment reliability will be less if the spillover will be more. Ideally, commitment reliability should be 100%, practically it should be more than 90%. Why do you use commitment reliability? Because we want to find a team which can deliver the important critical project, and the team will be the team which commitment reliability score is more. Making sense? And this is again one of the metrics. Commitment reliability is one of the metrics. Average velocity is one of the metrics. Both are two metrics we discuss, and we also discuss minimum 3 to 4 sprint. We have to take the average, but we are taking the 5 sprint. And this question is still unanswered. We'll discuss in tomorrow class. That if the team is completely new, they are planning the sprint 1 or they're planning the sprint term, they will not have average velocity. How will you be the taking the work? Wait for today. Tomorrow we'll be discussing. And then we also discuss estimation, always relative estimation, velocity, average velocity. And whenever you take the average velocity, you take the average of delivered story point. And you also take that, hey, how do you calculate the capacity of a team? Scrum team members include SMPO, BA. Another team members, total number of available days minus mandatory holidays, plan leaves, adjust it. Calculate total number of productive hours. Just for the easy calculation, we took 6 hours, 9 minus 1 minus 2. And there will be, then once you multiply number of available days in a productive hour, this will be total productive hours of the team, individual. And if you sum it up, total. And but still this is not enough because you have not counted unplanned sick leave. So if you count this 80% focus factor, then 278 hour will come. That means actual team have 348 hour, but we are taking 278 hour. Why 69 hour gap? What if there will be unplanned sick, complexity, uncertainty, risk will be there? We also discuss the capacity we calculate before starting the sprint. Input of the sprint planning is capacity, velocity, and
product
backlog. And output of a sprint is
sprint backlog,
backlog and sprint goal.
A sprint goal. And apart from this, we also discuss what is focus factor. It is nothing but focus factor is the ability for a team to focus on a sprint without any impediment and blocker. Impediment and blocker can be those whatever we discuss, unplanned leave or uncertainty, complexity, risk, and unknown. And how to get the leave, Confluence, shared drive, and all this. And we apart from you also discuss that, hey, velocity and this calculation we have already discussed. How do you calculate capacity and velocity of your team? And then after this we went to this, we took the, see this 28.8 hour, how it is coming, guys? Some of this, see here, I'll show you. Are you able to see? First day, whoever is available, sum of their total number 28. Second day, this much. Third day, this much. Fourth day, this much. And the same if you go here, same time is showing here. See here. Are you able to see? Calculate sheet G16. Calculate sheet G16. Calculate sheet G16. G16. So what we learn that, hey, what will happen here? Once you go to the real sheet, you have to calculate the percentage allocation based on the resources, and then you'll have to go to the ceremony time. This is a non-productive hour. If there is any other meetings also you can attend. For example, in one of the sprint there is a Jira training for 4 hours for everyone has to attend. That will be non-productive hour. Yes or no? You can create one, you can add it, and then once you go to the calculate part, this name percentage hour per day, 1 hour break after excluding 1 hour break, allocation, and accordingly we'll be giving this. Then total hours will come, then non-productive hours will reduce, then you'll have available capacity, and then you'll focus factor of 80%, and then whatever will come, that will be the capacity. And we'll discuss if new team will be there, focus factor should be 65 to 70%. Later on, slowly will be increased to 80% based on how the team is performing. And this is whatever is come, this is a man hour or a person hour, and this is a nonsense we discuss. We discussed that hey, more sense is if you take how much they're actually delivering, that is called based on the average velocity. And we also discussed that hey, if there is any Diwali vacation, Dasara vacation, Ugadi vacation, and if there is a sudden jump in capacity, you see here, sudden decline in a capacity or a spike in a capacity, we'll be taking the unit mathematics. We take two scenarios. There is another scenario here. If there is any sudden jump and all this, we'll be taking. Are you getting my point? And apart from this, we also discuss very good question was from Pritham that hey, I don't know where I think in the here only he asked a very good question that hey, if you have a sprint planning and all this, you are taking the work based on the velocity, then how will you utilize the capacity? We discussed that hey, capacity comes once you take the work we take based on the average velocity, because 40 story point average velocity 40 we took, and then we have to utilize individual capacity and all this we use. I'll focus more on tomorrow this part is still not covered yet. And apart from this, we discuss those three important questions: question number 1, question number 2, and question number 6. Guys, by this time you should be ready with your project. By this time you should be ready with your scrum team. By this time you should be ready with your team capacity, velocity. By this time you should be ready with what are the tech stack your team used to do the project. What are the team few epics, few user stories, few tasks, plus 10 to 15 line description about the project, 1 or 2 impediment and blocker about the project. These must should be ready, because mostly they might concentrate on this, and I've already given the idea. And whenever you're connecting with a Scrum buddy, go with all the probable interview questions related to project. Making sense?
Yes.
Remaining questions we'll be discussing tomorrow. Now, what is the assignment for today? All this you don't have to do. I'll discuss tomorrow. I will not make your work very tough. Assignment is only, Sudarshan, can you help me in assignment? What is assignment? First, everyone has to prepare their capacity sheet. And you understood? You will go from this column to this column. This was just the example. Definition to leave tracker. Correct?
Yes.
So I'll upload this sheet just after the class. So everyone has to prepare, and everyone will be distinguished. So everyone has to prepare capacity sheet and submit by today end of the day. Today EOD. First thing first. Second, and I'll take 5 names, any random names, and you will have to present in front of the class. वो नहीं, टाइम नहीं मिलने वाला है तो दिक्कत है. 5 names present in front of the class. This is the first. In front of the class. Second is those whatever the question we discussed today, practice framing answer. Correct? Practice framing answer. And third, go through the sheet, every single thing. Go through the sheet and understand every single question. Tomorrow what will happen? Lot of discussions is still needed in capacity and velocity. Tomorrow I'll discuss all the questions and scope creep and all this, whatever the Kalpa was having a doubt. I'll discuss yesterday every single thing in detail. Plus, if time permit, we'll discuss the DOR, DOD and other questions. Making sense? Tomorrow is a very super important class. Clear? Every single thing, how estimation comes to the picture, capacity, velocity, how are you utilizing? Tomorrow, it will be super duper clear. There will be no doubt. Clear? Done?
Yes.
Okay. Any question before closing the class? Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.